Well, hey guys, how you doing? My intro was supposed to play and it didn't. Let me try that again. Uh-oh. I wonder if it's the storm. There it goes. All right. We gotta have my intro. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. Hey, now let's see if it actually comes back to me. All right. Attention. Yes, it worked. Okay, good deal. So now I hope everybody can see and hear me. My computer evidently just had a senior moment. I have those every once in a while, and what can I say? So anyway, how you doing, guys? Good evening. Welcome. Welcome. Got a bunch of people in here already. Let's see who we got. We'll say hello. We have Frank Rizzo up at the top of the chat, also known as Jody, who is using Frank Rizzo's phone at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and actually left a message saying, hey, Mitch, it's Jody. I'm on Frank Rizzo's phone. So Jody, the winner today of the First In Award. And then Agent K is here about 1:45. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Joe Jaybird is here. Arizona Drone Dude in the house. Nathaniel Lee, Pond and Moore. Robert Glazier, how you doing? And let's see, Ed, Love My Drones is here. How you doing, buddy? And then moving on down, Drone Shots. John Coopy is here, and John Coopy is in the green room. And as soon as I get done saying hello to everybody, I'm going to, I'll bring him in. RC Funds Diversions, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Rick Halber, howdy. How are you? Good to see you. And we have Brian at BMAX is here. Thanks for coming in. Dan, Drone Worship is here, and I'm here to punch people in the face. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine with me. Find those guys that keep leaving me thumbs downs on my live streams and punch them in the face for me, Dan, by the way. And that ought to help a little. Ponder More, John Kubi, Joey, Love My Drones, Agent K, BMAC. That's it. That's it. So Jim Boyd, who's about 10 miles south of me, just sent me an email that said, a big storm heading your way just past us. So I pulled out my my trusty weather app, and I don't know if this is going to work with the green screen or not. So I'm going to go over here to this screen here and zoom in on it and see if we can actually see what's going on. I know I could probably pull it up on my computer, but this is already on my phone. So there's the get out of the way, drone. There's the big blob that he's talking about, and I am right here. Okay, right there, the green dot. That's me. And isn't it neat? But if you notice, it looks like all of this weather is just missing me and kind of crapping out by the time it gets up here. So that's good news. I was about to give you the old, if I lose you in the middle of the stream because my power went out, hang in there and I'll try to reboot and get it back up again. So anyway, that's where we are. Without further ado, let me bring in John Coopy, my buddy, fellow DJ IFPVer.
Hey there, Mitch. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure, John. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. Yeah, that DJI system, man, something else, right?
Oh yeah, tell us. So when did you I want to hear you describe your your first the first time you put that on, saw that picture actually in the goggles, and then flew it. I want you to tell me what your feeling was like.
Oh man, I don't even know how to put it into words. To tell you the truth, it's it's something else, right? It really is just something else. After looking at analog for what the last 5 years to have full HD, I was just like, your mind is just blown when you see the quality. It just my mind was just blown.
It's almost a religious experience for people who fly these things, and you can't
Yes,
describe it. I mean, everybody and their brother described it, what it's like to you, and you still you can't describe
it is.
the difference in it almost it's as close as you're ever going to get to actually being in the drone.
It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. And it sounds dramatic, but it's like it's like a rebirth in a way of something you already have been doing for a long time. It really is.
That's what I've heard a lot of guys say. I've heard a lot of guys say it's like rediscovering a new hobby.
Right.
It brings back the thrill of when you first get started, because like anything, including Carlos, you could get things can get boring, and
Good evening.
hey,
Sorry.
that's all right. You're not really boring, Carlos. That was just a good segue. Man, how come you're in the shade? There you go. I was going to
There
say
you
you got
go.
a you,
That
you
was
got a
my
shade over your face.
blocks so that Big Brother doesn't watch me when I'm not on.
Ah,
Always a good
yeah,
idea.
Never know.
yeah.
What's up, John
No,
Poopy? Are you
What's
playing with
going?
your DJI goggles yet?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was just telling Mitch I finally finished my build at the beginning of this. Yeah, I think it was the beginning of this month, and wow, they're just absolutely amazing.
Cool.
I'm a convert, but now I'm not getting rid of my analog stuff. Like Mitch and
Oh,
we were talking a little bit before. I'm not getting rid of all my analog stuff. I'm not that far.
are you going to do the
no, and,
conversion or that mod that Mitch has?
You know what? I might do that at some point, but I still have my Fat Sharks, and they still work fine. So I don't know if I want to mess with it.
Yeah.
You know,
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I mean, if I decide to sell my Fat Sharks and get rid of them, oh, it's Dan. Dan's
Time to
here.
go. See ya.
I know. That's it. I'm out of here.
Good evening, Dano.
I'm out.
I just
You
I just found out I'm going to be the Lance Armstrong of the drone community. How cool is that?
mean without
oh,
nuts?
oh, really?
Pretty OG, right?
Yeah, man. It's
That's
better
not
than
good.
having three. It's better than having three of them, I guess.
I'm not
This is
sure.
true. This
Yeah.
is
I like
true.
the hat. I like the hat.
Yeah. Who doesn't like Star Wars, man?
Yeah.
Everybody
So,
should like Star Wars.
No, John, I still fly most. I would say more than half analog, because more than half of my drones, especially the little teeny ones, are all analog. But I found that by putting that analog mod on the DJI goggles,
Less stuff to carry.
of course, I've never had Fat Sharks, so I can't tell you as a comparison. But I know that the image I get in the DJI with the Fusion, the TBS Fusion module is absolutely excellent. If the camera's any good.
I almost don't like the DJI system for the reason of analog feels more like a video game to me. Like I like the challenge of not being able to see sometimes versus seeing. Whereas with DJI, it's like you see all the time. So clarity, it's not fun for me. It takes away a lot of the challenge. I kind of enjoy the aspect of what analog gives me. You'll be going through a gap and all of a sudden be like, oh my God, signal cut. And then you're like, oh, did I made it? And then you're that much more amped that you made it through it without, clear signal. I don't know, man. It gives me more of a wild tension to fly harder and more ridiculous to see.
And I'm sure that you got your horse and buggy parked outside because you don't want anything to do with these newfangled cars or anything, you know.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised that you would say that, Dan. Just the
Really?
other day, weren't you
Yeah,
saying that,
I kind of am too, to tell you the truth.
that you prefer digital video when you see it on YouTube?
Yeah, I want HD
So make up
footage,
your mind.
record in HD, but as far
Yeah.
as my visuals go, I want that kind of in and out visual stuff. I like it. It just seems like more of a challenge. I've always enjoyed the challenge versus the easiness of anything.
Well,
You know,
that's why I appreciate when I do see the non-GoPro videos, because now you do see what the guy went through or the person went through. Or maybe, I guess, when
Oh, yeah.
somebody does a combination. Nice shirt, by the way, Mitch. I
Oh,
almost forgot.
thank you.
Looks good.
This is.
John, go with the
We
program.
are establishing a trend here.
You need to get
I
a
know.
curtain out of the kitchen and make a nice
Yeah,
shirt out of
Yeah,
it.
this is the
Get-
IKEA demo room. It's the
You need to
IKEA
get
demo
your
room.
get your pajamas on.
Flower
Everybody.
print or something going on. I got
Yeah.
Mickey.
Tell your wife to take the old draperies or bedspread and make you a shirt.
The only reason I say
Hey,
that is
Dan.
my father used to say that all the time. Anyway, go ahead.
yo,
Dan,
yo.
I don't want to. I mean, I hate to do this because it might blow up your head way bigger than it already is.
Last night's
It
flight was
actually-
awesome. I know.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, man. That was one of the best videos I ever saw from you.
Well, thank you.
And the music that you put on it was great. It was just it was one of those things that just all worked. What a beautiful place to fly, man.
I've been saving that location for a while. I've been wanting to fly it for a while. I chose the wrong quad. I should have gone with 5-inch over 3-inch. It was getting hammered pretty bad during that flight. You can see it. It was physically getting shoved around pretty good. But other than that, man, it was all right. It could have been a lot better. That wind was blowing so sheerish up top that I
It
didn't
didn't
want
matter. It didn't matter. It was still good. What kind of
Yeah,
camera did you have
know.
on it? What was the HD camera?
So that's just the drone itself. That's the Runcam Nano Split 3.
Oh,
so
it's a split. Okay,
HD
okay.
at 1080 at 60 frames per second. So that looks pretty good at night. It does well at night and during the day. So
Oh man,
Yeah.
it did beautiful, and that's
Yeah.
such a. I'm familiar with that location down there on the
Yeah.
river in Tampa. That's a gorgeous.
yeah,
gorgeous
Curtis Hickson
location.
Park. It is. It really
Yeah.
is. And that's not the only flight I'm going to do. I have plans. There's a whole vicinity area I want to go, but this time I want to bring my 5-inch out there because I get much further range. I can actually fly a lot more of the buildings versus just one building, general vicinity, and then move
Yeah.
to another location. I'd like to cover the whole area. So it was last night was testing phase. So
Were you
it
out
was
there
good.
by yourself, or did you have some friends with you?
I actually posted in the Cigar City multi-rotors. There were a bunch of people interested, but then last minute everybody's like, sorry, I can't make it. Oh, I got to do this. So I was like, all right. And then they saw the video and they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was
Oh.
like that down there. I was like, well,
Yeah.
I tried to tell you guys. I knew what I was walking into.
Yeah,
It
that
is
was,
$9 for parking for 2 hours. So
Really?
it's not-
Oh, you gotta be
it's-
kidding
it's
me.
not cheap, man. If you're going to park in that area, you're going to, yeah.
Leave
it's
it.
like,
Leave it to the politicians to
Yeah.
take the joy out of everything.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a deterrent. People were like, "Oh wait, I got to pay for parking." I was like, "Oh, I mean, but where else are you gonna get footage and cinematography like this? Look at the colors."
You're
Come
not.
on."
You're not. I was. I don't want to say shocked because I know you have it in you, but it
Truly
was.
impressed.
It was just something so different
Well, thank
from
you.
what we usually see
Yeah.
on these FPV things.
Yeah.
It makes you want to go out and find locations like that.
I've got a bunch
really-
more planned. I've been waiting for my skill set to get to the point where I felt comfortable making these types of flights in these areas. So I've gotten there now. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I know what you mean about that.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to getting out over the water.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not real forgiving, but you don't need to get low down over the water, so
there's something to say though when all that
10, 20
light
feet. 10, 20 feet. Even
shining off of the water though, the closer you can get to that reflection and you can see the light coming down, just it looks really cool. So if you can get within 5 feet of the water, it looks pretty good.
yeah, put water skis on the drone.
There you go.
Yeah, put
Totally.
pontoon floats on it or something that way. If you
That's
hit
actually the
water.
worst
2
FPV
empty water
video
bottles.
views I've ever gotten. Isn't that sad? The best video I've ever made got the worst views.
They just
Well,
haven't
it's just-
discovered it yet.
you-
That's why.
You just put it up there, man.
Yeah, well, like 4 a.m. Yeah, it's been up for a while. So I think I posted it too early. I should have waited until like 8 o'clock and posted it. But it is what it is.
I enjoyed it. And Carlos,
Yes, sir.
your little video today,
Oh, the policeman.
the policeman. Yeah,
I was having fun with that.
I got a kick. Did you see my comment?
Yeah, no bail.
I said, how much was your bail? I said,
I didn't want to say anything.
Wouldn't it have been great?
I actually know. I know the white shirt guy.
Oh, wouldn't it have been great to have a couple of sets of goggles or at least a monitor that they could have?
Oh, you had one. They had one at one time, but he put it down.
Oh, they did have a monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had the EMAX ones that come with the ready to fly. Oh, he was liking it, but did you see his lousy catch?
Yeah.
Yeah. I called him up. I said, I hope you catch criminals better than you catch drones, because that was pretty bad.
Well, a lot of these, how does he know what to expect? He doesn't, how heavy it is and how fast it's coming, and it's got spinning things on it. The tendency would be to pull your hands back away from something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, right up that road is the highway patrol and the mounted police. He's doing the mounted police. But it's funny because he came up to me. He goes, the park police are here. They may not allow you to fly a drone. And I take it. I said, little plastic thing. It's a toy. You got to be kidding me. But still, I mean, it was no problem.
That's good. That's good to hear. It's always good to hear about a positive encounter with somebody from authority when it comes to this stuff.
I don't hear many negative ones unless somebody calls, and the only reason they usually come is because somebody complained and they have to. Unless it's Dan, then it's just because it's Dan. But if you're flying a drone and people,
Dan, they got his picture. They got his picture up on the bulletin board down there.
Everywhere, man.
Call
at the precinct. Yeah,
I have. I've had to talk to the detectives. I've had to talk to 2 FAA administrators now. Like I've had fun out in the field, man. But I've never once got. No, I can't say that. 4 years ago, I got in trouble. You guys remember that? Carlos, you might remember that. When I got my fine for the Busch Gardens flight. I didn't even fly into Busch Gardens. I flew across the street from Busch Gardens, and I still got nailed because Busch Gardens was building a roller coaster at the time. They didn't want anybody to see it. I didn't know that. I was just taking footage of the park, and I posted it. And Busch Gardens got a hold of FAA, and they're like, this guy's out here showing all our new rides off. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, man. So I got like $1,400 in fines for that. That was
really? They fined you for that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They don't just say
it was sickening. Really? Yeah, one for crossing the street. At the time, I didn't really realize that was a bad thing to do. I mean, it was like a 2-lane road. It was like, I'm across the street. But I was flying with the Hubsan 501S, so you can't tilt the camera down to show whether you're on the property or you're not. Mm-hmm. So they just figured I was on the property, which is a no-fly zone, so I got nailed with that because I couldn't prove where I was at, once again. So now I won't fly cameras that have fixed drones that have fixed cameras. If I can't lean the camera down to show my location, I'm not interested in flying it. It's too easy to get yourself in trouble. So, yeah.
Well, especially when you're going out there, you think that they're bad. You try Disney.
Oh,
Disney.
yeah.
You said they own the airspace, right?
The Germans in World War II didn't have the security in their Stalags that Disney has on their property.
Like Orlando, just in general, is hard to fly. I went there and like everything is a no-fly zone. Me and the girlfriend went. It was crazy. Like I popped it up. I'm like, oh, you can't fly anywhere. Okay, well, that just ended all that fun. Why did I even bring a drone?
Well, if you have the Lance, most of the airports in Orlando now have Lance activated. So if you have that, you can get approval. But
ours just shows up red. Everything is red. There's no clearance at all. It's just red. Like green zone is way outside of the fun vicinity.
It's like here in Brevard County with the Space Center. Between the Melbourne Airport and the Space Center and all the little self-declared heliports that these people have registered, it's ridiculous. If I want to fly on the beach and go get some beach videos, I got to go south of Melbourne Beach to get into an area that's open and not restricted in some way or another.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Like, anybody ever tried to fly Fort DeSoto? Good luck with that. Helicopters will track you down like it's ridiculous. You guys ever watch the Mighty Thor's video of him trying to fly Fort DeSoto here?
No, I haven't seen that.
Put up, man, and 4 helicopters out of nowhere started going after him. It was nuts.
Where do you live, John Coopy? What state are you in?
So I live in mid Missouri.
Mid Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Show me state. Easy to fly by you?
Very easy to fly here, man. Nobody cares. And if you are near an airport, it's going to be more like a regional kind of thing. It's really, really easy to find places to fly here. Florida, though, it's a pain in the ass to fly there. And even if you do find a beach where you can fly, That
Sure.
beach might have rules about launching off the friggin' beach itself. That's another thing you got to be careful about. I mean, Panama City Beach, one place where I was staying, I put the drone up. It was all good, technically, where I was with the FAA, but Beach Patrol came by and they're like, "You can't launch a drone from the beach." I'm like, "Well, okay."
So get
All
back
right.
to the parking lot. You go to the parking lot and launch your drone.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could do it from there
Yeah.
too. Right.
Such
But
silly
again,
rules.
you didn't know it.
Oh,
I just
Ed
do what I
says,
want when it comes to that stuff. I don't care.
Ed says he flew over the Epcot ball on a Piper years before 9/11, and I used to go out and fly over Disney all the time. Used to fly over it in the ultralights. Used to fly over it in airplanes, and never had a problem. That was 25 years ago. But boy, once 9/11 happened, and they used that as an excuse to clamp
Bingo.
down on their airspace. Yeah, they've always wanted to own the airspace, but 9/11 gave them a great excuse. Just like the COVID-19 is now giving people a cover or an excuse to do a lot of the things they've always wanted to do to clamp down on how we behave, but now they've got an excuse to do it. So,
Michael McReynolds, what's up, buddy?
John
Hey,
Coopy,
Michael, how
did you
you
see the
doing?
question from RC? You used to live in New Jersey? Is that what it
I
says?
did
MJ?
used to live in New Jersey. I moved here about a year and a half ago.
Where in Jersey?
cigar.
I used to live Bergen County, Paramus.
Mhm.
That's where I used to live.
That's a
We
big
got
switch.
Cigar Nation Warriors is here. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm curious. Cigar Nation Warriors, are you part of the Cigar City Multi-Rotor crew, man? Are you in the Florida, Tampa area? I'm just curious because of the name.
I don't think so.
It just seems interesting that he's calling himself Cigar Nation when we have, Cigar City Multi-Rotor here. Like I've never even understood what the cigar stands for, or why they have it in front of it, or what it's for. So.
Well, in
No.
Tampa's called cigar. You know why Tampa's called Cigar City is because that's where all the cigars were made years and years and years ago.
Oh, I get that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's weird that
yeah.
his name is that if he's not part of the Tampa branch. I'm curious why he named himself that.
Well, there's a lot of things have to do with cigars, but
Hey! Just let me feel this, sir.
what's the Cigar Nation? I'm trying to figure out if there's a country that actually calls itself the Cigar Nation. Well, maybe he'll tell us.
I would
He
think
smokes
Cuba.
cigars. So do I. I can be the cigar universe. That's what I'm going to be. Why stop at nation? So
I guess, so Florida
Cuba,
state
yeah.
parks flying is banned, right?
Yeah.
All
Oh,
state
yeah.
parks, I thought.
Yeah, Missouri has not banned flying in state parks here. You're still cool to take your drone there. Nobody has screwed that up yet.
well, we have a lot of local parks where they have stuck signs up, no droning in this park, and I guess they can do that and keep you from taking off from park property, but they legally can't stop you from flying over the park if you took off somewhere else.
That's a
However,
good.
being legally or not, when they put you in handcuffs and take you downtown, whether they have the legal right to do that or not, it's not going to be fun when they do it to you.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, I know we can go right outside and fly our drone into a place that has a no drone sign, but is that something we really want to do? It's just easier to go find just go somewhere else. It's just not worth it.
Well, thank you for your service, Cigar Nation.
Oops, missed it.
First cab. Oh, okay.
Just actually got another comment a little higher than that. Vietnam.
Vietnam. I knew a few guys many moons ago from Vietnam.
Well, we got that. We have that humongous park that nobody ever uses down there in
The one you fly at?
Palm Bay. Yeah,
That's a great place.
it's crazy. And
Can't beat that.
I went out there this morning, took a few drones, and I decided to get out there like at 7:30 before it got real hot. And they must have had some really big storms yesterday afternoon because the place was soaked, puddles everywhere. I mean, it was really wet. So I had my little Tinyhawk with me. So I said, well, I'm just going to go sit in that gazebo That was the video that I showed in the intro to the stream. I was going to sit in the gazebo and fly around. So I settled myself into the gazebo, and I said, well, let's just sit here and play for a while. And then I went and looked and realized that I only had 2 charged batteries for the Tinyhawk. All the rest of the batteries were for the big drone. So I had two packs. So I flew the 2 packs and went home. So that was it.
Bummer.
Yeah, that was it.
Gotta do at least a 6-pack.
So John, this I got my goggles all done. Got my goggles, DJI goggles, all blinged out now. I mean, they're
pom-pom balls on them.
Oh man, this stupid
Oh, that's
green.
right, the strap.
The green, yeah. I got this transparent strap. You know,
Green screen.
Green screen, yeah. But I did get the ethics strap, and that really works good. And I got the new foam, the memory foam from DJI. That,
Much better. Is it
oh
much
God,
better?
yes. Oh, it's incredible. What a difference. It's much softer and closes out all the light. It's really, and it just sticks onto the Velcro. So you just stick it on there, pull the.
That's
element
good.
off.
That's good to hear because I ordered it too. So hopefully I'll get it soon.
Yeah, it helps. And then, I built this analog mod, and you guys maybe saw the video of building this analog mod that actually doesn't have to be wired inside. It plugs in on the
Right.
outside, and this is where it gets its power. But now this company in England is making one that really looks like the real answer. It puts the module on this side, and then on this side, and the wires come out of this side, and you don't have to make anything. You just 2 screws, take the faceplate off, 2 screws, put the new faceplate on, plug your module in, plug the wires in to the jacks on the side, and as they say in England, Bob's your uncle, or is that
Yeah.
Australian? Yeah. But I found that with this Fusion module, and I got some. I'm going for that Borg look here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I see that. I see
Yeah,
that. So, I mean those antennas are huge, dude. Have you thought about putting something smaller on there?
I did, but these things just work so good. I mean,
guess.
and they don't weigh anything. They don't weigh anything. They just work so good. This is a triple feed patch. This one here.
Menace?
And, no, I don't think it's Menace. This is a Far View. If you ever heard of that, this one
Yeah.
is a Far View. They're excellent antennas, and I'm trying to remember who manufactured this or where I got it.
So you're trying to be Mitch Cutis of Borg?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's what it looks like with all the crap hanging off.
I think
of it,
if you went to the
but,
park with an aluminum
Yeah.
hat
Yeah.
and that, they definitely lock you up.
well, but people with this thing, people might be afraid to stand in front of you unless some death ray comes out of it. You never,
Or you're looking for
You
the
never
ship
know.
with the death ray.
you never know.
That's what that looks like.
I've tried it with a couple of smaller, just circular polarized, little, right-hand circular polarized antennas. I've tried it with just your basic dipole antenna, and they all kind of work.
Right.
But the fact that this thing, the most important thing I think is that this thing sticks up above my head. And I did go on the Menace RC site, and I bought some antennas from them. They're on their way from England now, but I bought one of the real tall ones, for the purpose of just making sure that it gets way up over me. Of course, I like to fly by myself sometimes, and this patch antenna doesn't do much for you when you're flying.
Isn't that the same setup as the Pagoda, like a Pagoda stubby kind of style? Is that what you've got there? You
This
said
is,
Fairview,
yeah.
but isn't that more of a Pagoda?
Far
style?
View, yeah, it is a Pagoda.
Farview,
Yeah,
okay, right.
Yeah, Farview is the manufacturer.
Oh, the manufacturer. I was like, what? There's a new antenna called Farview? I gotta.
No, that's their name.
Okay,
Catchy
makes sense.
name, as opposed to like Near View, they're Far
Right.
View, and
Right.
I guess I'm a sucker like everybody else. You watch these carnival barkers of reviewers, Drone of the year every day. Every day there's a new drone of the year. This is the drone of the year, boy. And here's the links. And here's the links where you can buy it. And this antenna is the best. The antenna shootout. This is the DJI killer. We're gonna, this is the killer. This is.
Oh, you
this
wouldn't
is
happen to
the
be
Fat
talking
Shark
about
killer.
hype train riders now, would you?
Oh, they tell me those. I don't believe there are such a thing as people who would actually hype a product for money. Do you think
For a sale?
people really sink to that level?
Not on YouTube.
No, not on YouTube.
Nah, never on YouTube. These things don't happen.
Speaking of antennas, Mitch, have you considered replacing your DJI antennas with anything, or
No.
are they just no?
No, and I'll tell you why. I watched pretty much every video that's come on my feed about the DJI antennas. From that Cyclops, you think my deal looks stupid. You put one of those things they call a Cyclops on the front of you look like you're wearing a refrigerator on your head.
Yes, I have seen them, and they are mega ridiculous.
Yeah, and then the other ones are the little tiny stubby ones.
I've seen those, yes.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the names of those. The only advantage to those is they don't stick out, so it's easier to put your goggles back in the bag. But the bottom line of all the different reviews that I watched were the DJI antennas are about the same as most of them, unless you want to stick a bunch of patches, real high dB gain patches on it. But then you've always got to have your head pointed right at the quad. And if you're just flying way out, and you just want distance, and you're going to be way out in front of you, and you're going to be looking at the quad, that's fine. But for the kind of flying that we do, whipping around all over the place, sometimes you're this way, sometimes you're that way, and sometimes you're behind you. I've never lost the picture I don't go that far with it. I've never had the picture go away.
Carlos, you are correct. That's how I earn these bags under my eyes, buddy.
Well, no, because somebody said that Mitch is boring you, but it's not. He's boring you. It's just you don't sleep.
Brick Bowl 43, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that.
no holla.
$2.
That was so much money. Thank you for the money. You're a swell guy.
You go home now.
Yeah.
You
ever see that
comedian
that guy,
John Panette? Yeah, John Panette. He goes to the Chinese buffet. He sits there for 4 hours, and the Chinese guy comes up to him and says, "You go home now. You've been here 4 hours."
Killer whale.
Oh my god.
He was good. That poor man. He died.
Yeah. He was funny. But
So Mitch,
that was a long time ago.
Let's briefly speak about batteries and charging and discharging,
here we go.
time and how long and not how long, and should you use it in a week, and if you don't within the week, should you discharge it? Let's hear your theories, guys, if that's okay with you.
Sure. Why not?
What do you think, Dan?
Well, I don't think you
first-
should ever. Ooh,
But first, we have a real expert on batteries in the green room.
Oh my god.
No.
I
Not
thought
an
you were talking about
industry
me or some
expert.
shit. Green room.
Hi, Jim. How you doing, buddy?
He
Good.
is an expert on batteries.
I wanna
Your storm petered out completely by the time I got up here.
It did. Okay.
Yeah. It was a monster down by you.
It looked mean. It did.
Yeah. Okay,
Hey, Mitch,
Dan, you're up.
I wanted to get, before you got off those antennas, I wanted to get to you. This patch antenna is a
Wow.
10 dB gain on the 5.8 and an 8 dB gain on the 2.4. What are we really talking when we say that? What are we talking?
Okay, that dB is a measure of sensitivity. If you're talking about the dB on a transmitter, it's how much power it's putting out. dB on a receiver is how sensitive it is. 3D, it's a logarithmic scale. 3 dB gain on a receiver theoretically will give you twice the range. assuming the transmitter's powerful enough to send a signal that far. But as far as the receiver goes, 3 dB is twice the range. Okay?
Twice the range of that. Yeah.
Twice the range of any antenna with 3 dB a gain, it will let you receive something coming from twice as far. 9 dB or 10 dB is a lot of antenna gain, and you usually sacrifice spread. In other words, it's going to be real focused. Right. It's going to be real focused in front of you, maybe 50-degree angle, 60-degree tops.
The interesting thing that I find, like on the Inspires and the Matrice line, they're patching. They don't tell you this, but they're actually using 5.8 patch antennas, the square ones, inside the remote. So when you have these antennas out there, these are only for the 2.4 gigahertz signal.
So that's why they tell you gotta make sure the remote's pointed at the pointed at the plane.
Yeah. I find that very interesting because you've got patch antennas sitting inside the remote, and then you're putting this on, which clips to your remote, right? There's your antenna.
Yeah.
SMA or whatever they are. And now you're taking it from that patch to here. Big deal. But the 5.8 is the one with the 10 dB gain.
That's a lot of gain, and I mean, if you've got the adequate transmitting power, you'll pull a signal from way away with that thing. I want that for my goggles, Jim. I want to have that thing on my goggles.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's the thing, Dan. How much transmitting power are we putting out from these remote controllers? It's
really
not.
I have no idea.
It really
not a
depends
lot, right?
well, no, it really depends on what the protocols are. Like, for instance, you can take a Wi-Fi signal from DJI with the Magic Powers app. You can pump it from like 9 dB to like 27 dB if you really want to. A lot of these are just put in restrictions by the FCC.
Right.
You really don't know what your outpush is going to be. Like my transmitter, my jumper, my original T8SG jumper had like a 1 watt signal transfer. That was crazy. That was a ton of power.
That's a lot, right?
It still is, and they had to cut that back. So I have one of the originals, which is why I won't get rid of the damn thing, because it has that crazy signal output.
Isn't that what Hobby King got screwed up for?
Yeah. That was one of the original setups that they had when Hobby King was getting sued for all I don't know if they were getting sued. They were getting fined because they had all those crazy FCC radios out there. Well, the jumper was one of the originals, and if you have the original model, you got all that crazy output. So I think it really depends on the product. Whatever you're buying is going to have its...
We can boost it?
Well, I mean, you can take anything and boost it.
No, I mean, you just talked of something that boosts it.
Well, no, okay, so like I was referring to a very specific thing, like if you had a Phantom 3 standard, right? It comes box push at 9 dB, which isn't very much. It's like 3,000 feet of range, right? If you increase that using Magic Powers, soft patch, if you do a soft patch to it, right? Then it takes that protocol that is restricting it and it gets rid of it. It goes, oh, so you're telling me I can now do 23 to 27. Oh, okay. Well, now you've increased the range of this product that only was allowed to go 3,000 feet to over 2 to 2.5 to 3 miles. So I'm saying on stock setup just by doing a software patch, so a soft mod in essence.
I'm sorry, what was the name of that again?
So Magic Powers 5.
Magic Powers 5. Because I believe the Pro 2s are pushing like 26 dB, aren't they, Mitch? The Mavic Pro 2?
I have no idea what kind of power that they're pushing out. I know that
you could just look up on the FCC or on the.
I know that on the on the FPV transmitters, usually on the R9 that I use, which is the 900 megahertz band, I can set it to 25 milliwatts, 100 milliwatts, 200 milliwatts, 500 milliwatts, or a watt. My choice. Okay? I find that at 100 milliwatts, it's going to fly further than I ever want to fly at 900. But that's not a video signal. That's the control link.
Right. A watt is not legal, is it?
Up to a watt, I think is. I think you can fly up to 1,000 milliwatts.
You can fly up to a
Mitch is
watt.
right. Yeah.
You can fly up to a
Yeah.
watt?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was in the milliwatts
Which,
range.
by the way, is an absolute ton of transmitting power.
It's
So
a lot of
there's-
power.
It is
Yeah.
a lot of power. Yes.
And that's the benefit. The benefit of the lower frequencies is the same amount of power will get you a lot further.
I remember looking this up when we were talking about using like walkie-talkies or something like that. What kind of power they were pushing out
We used to do
compared
that
to
with
these
the
things.
CB radios.
You
We
remember?
used to
You
use,
remember when you had an AM radio, and late at night, you'd be picking up radio stations from halfway around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, really across. That's because the low frequencies. Those frequencies were in kilohertz. The low frequencies travel, don't bounce off the atmosphere as much. They kind of hug the earth, and they travel long distances. That's why submarines and underwater they use very low frequency carriers for communication.
So Ed, to be clear, you can have a 1 watt. There are restrictions where ham licensed radio would come into play with some of this stuff.
Yeah.
We get that. We're just saying you're legally allowed to have 1 watt. It doesn't mean you don't have to be licensed to do it. You know.
Mitch, just for the record, you had Happy Lux join you. Bob Casey join you.
Oh, hey, okay, yeah.
Mia's Drone Adventures, they came in. Timeless Truth, I don't know if he was here before.
He was here,
Stingray
yeah.
Area
Michael.
Solutions.
Good,
And
thank you,
Rick
guys.
Halber. They've all
Yeah.
come in and say what's
Happy
up while
Lux.
you guys
Yeah,
were
how you
yapping.
doing from across the pond? Good to see you guys. Yeah, I haven't been watching
And-
the chat. Carlos has,
and-
thank goodness.
And John, yes, I do remember the G box, the mod that I did on the G box. That was a sad, sorry piece of equipment. That thing was.
G-Box.
All right, so we're not going to talk
Yeah.
about batteries. We're going to stay on the tennis.
No, we
Uh,
can
so
talk about
yeah.
it.
Wait,
No, that's all
Mitch,
right. We can finish. Let
you are
Jim do his thing.
talking about 26 dB transmission power out of the Mavic 2 Pro.
Okay, well, that's
That's
not
quite a
nothing to
jump.
nothing to be ashamed of.
No, that's a jump from, say, the Phantom 4 and the earlier birds.
Well, but
They were
that's my
only,
point,
like-
though. Is they had, but Jim, they had the capability to do it. They just were locked down by DJI software. You see what I'm saying? So,
And is it
so
still
now-
being knocked down?
right. So I would think that the overall potential is actually much greater now. It's probably still being knocked down.
That's
You
what
know?
I'm getting at, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, on Descendants, I can get 28. 28 is that spec. Well, if this is giving me 10 more on top of that, this patch antenna, which of course is directional. You guys know 60-degree directional. You know, what are we really talking? Because I've had problems inside the neighborhood with regular light bridge. I don't with that OcuSync 2.
I think the regular light bridge is going to be more susceptible to interference from people's Wi-Fi, home Wi-Fi.
I
the
gotta
OcuSync
agree. Yeah, I've had problems with it.
Michael.
It's hard to
And-
fly
and-
FPV near DJI
and-
drones.
And
They
remember
interfere.
the original, Dan, remember all the guys making the right hand and left hand turn
Polarized.
polarized antennas for these things when
Mhm.
they first came out as
Yeah.
the cure.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
so
still
then everything you had to be then right hand polarized if that's what you're running on your goggles or on your transmitter. You couldn't have a left hand polarized and then try to mix that with a right hand
well,
polarized.
we're still doing that in the FPV world. You know,
But
you
there's
gotta-
there's a difference though. That's FPV, but dipole will still work with right hand and left hand polarized.
yeah.
So if
yeah,
you're having an
dipole.
issue, right?
But
So
now on DJI on their goggles uses all left-hand circular polarized antennas.
Mhm.
Okay,
Not only
last
do they use-
interruption.
Not only
Right.
do they use
Yeah.
left-hand antennas, but they use RPSMA connectors too. So everything is
Right.
friggin' backwards.
I don't want to get
All right.
slapped by Rick. No,
Interrupt us.
Brick Boy, Ray Kelly, and somebody else just joined me. Saying hello.
You
Hey,
could say
Ray
that.
Kelly, how you doing?
You could say that after the conversation
Michael Blade.
ends.
Michael Blade. I thought
Michael,
he was
how are you,
finished, and then
Michael?
all of a sudden,
You're always interrupting, Carlos. What the
no,
hell's
I'm
up
not
with that?
always doing anything.
He's doing his job. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. His job is to make sure
John,
that I don't
John,
forget
hit
to
him.
say hello.
We wanna acknowledge our guests. Well, at least
Our
I.
guests, we do. It's
got
important. We
him.
want people. Yes, we want them to feel right.
I
Okay,
love the hand
batteries.
test.
Battery.
Batteries.
Back to batteries.
Back
Jim,
to
you're the
batteries.
battery man.
What
I
happened
think
now?
I think a lot of the stuff is opinions more than fact, but that's just
Man,
No,
my opinion.
there's fact. There's
To a
certain
certain
facts about batteries.
Yeah,
Look,
absolutely.
man, it's not it's common sense. If you discharge a battery too low, the recovery is going to be hard on the battery. Sometimes when you you discharge a battery well beyond that 3.4 or 3.2, whatever you want to go to. Most people fly it down to at least 3.2 and then let it recover back to 3.4 or 3.7 or whatever the hell it is. But the point is that if you discharge a battery too low, you're damaging it. If you leave it charged too long, you're going to damage it. Right?
Okay,
That's
what's
just-
too long? That's the
common
question.
sense. So,
what's
but
what's
that's
too
gonna,
long?
hold on. That's going to depend on the company and how well the cells were produced. If it's a cheap battery, you can pretty much assume that with a cheap battery, you don't want to leave it fully charged for too long without discharging it. If it's a company like Tattoo, right, their batteries are much more prone to last longer. Their cells are higher quality. The
I've heard
materials that are
different.
used.
As far as
What's that?
tattoo, I've heard different as far as tattoo.
So have I.
Tattoo's a pretty decent company, man.
But you see, so that's why I say a lot of this is opinion. But
Well,
all right,
but that's-
here's the other thing. Let's just
But
discuss
that's
what
why
you
I'm
said
trying to
about
lay,
too
trying to lay
long.
structure to it, Carlos. Go
Too
ahead.
long. What's too long? A week?
Okay.
2 days?
But that's the problem is I can't give you an estimated number on that
Well, what do you
because
think?
every
I don't know.
every cell is different.
All right,
So this is
one
why I'm
S.
trying to give you an average. Let's just create an average here. Okay? Most drone companies will tell you to expend your battery within 4 days of charging. Right? That's about an average number.
4 days
Okay?
of charging.
About
Okay.
4 days. All right? Most companies will tell you it's not good to leave any LiPo charge for a period of time. Now,
Right.
with your smart batteries, they will over time come down, right? They'll bring themselves down to a storage status or at least a halfway point. It's still not good to let the battery do that by itself, right? It's better to discharge it to its storage status. Now, what is storage status? Well, that's based on
35%? No.
right? So I would say anywhere between 45 and 35% of a battery is going to be storage status. You don't want to leave it too high either, somewhere in the middle. It still has too much potency on the charge. Any battery that's overcharged for a period of time and sits will actually start to crap out the cell degradation. It'll start to actually damage the battery from being charged for too long. I don't know if any of you guys have actually taken a LiPo apart and looked inside of one before. Okay.
Yes.
You can see bubbles and stuff moving around inside the battery from all the energy that's sitting there that's just stored, right? The battery's constantly in motion. It's ridiculous what's inside those LiPo batteries. You can see just bubbles running all up and down the sponge pads in there. It's nuts, right? But that just tells you when you take off that charge and you open the same battery, it's a lot more relaxed. There's not nearly as much going on, right? So leaving it fully charged for a period of time will actually damage those cells, right? It's expended energy. It has nowhere to go. You're just
Cool.
trying to store that energy, which is taking it out of the battery itself.
You guys
Right, so
doing FPV? Do you have any BMS at all?
No.
No.
No,
So you can overcharge your battery and
no, the charger shuts
No,
off.
no. The hobby
The
grade
charger shuts off. The chargers, these hobby grade
I
chargers.
don't know. Does it
are-
shut off? Or, yeah, I guess it tells you. To
Well,
turn
Yeah,
it
of course
off,
it
right?
shuts off.
You
It
choose
does.
your voltage to turn it off at.
Yeah,
how come
you
I've
say-
heard of overcharging happening?
Well, a lot of
Well,
charger.
people have shitty chargers.
Yeah, and just leave
that
them
what it
on
is?
there for too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it burns out the
Not
cell
only
and blows
that,
up.
but these chargers, as the voltage gets closer to the desired voltage, they start
Right.
lowering the
Right.
current.
the input current,
and-
exactly.
Yeah, and it also depends. You can set them for the different chemistries because a lithium ion will take a completely different charge profile and use different kinds of sampling methods on the voltage to tell how much charge it's taking. And you have to select the right profile for your battery. Warning.
No.
yeah.
Somebody was asking what I'm vaping. And
Okay.
I didn't
Oh,
want
what
to
you're
interrupt
vaping.
you.
Okay, so with a
There goes the
here's-
damn interruptions again.
all right. Don't make me use the mute buttons, guys. I love all of you.
Thomas, I want to answer that for you. Am I clear to answer Thomas real fast?
Go right ahead.
Thomas says, I thought storage status was between 50 and 60%. Storage status of any LiPo cell that is not high voltage output battery, right? High performance battery cell, okay, would be 3.7 volts per cell. All right, so
Storage?
whatever 3 points. What's that for storage?
said
I
storage?
store mine. I store mine
I
at
thought it was at
3.85.
35.
And that's okay.
5%.
That's still not too high, but actual storage status for regular LiPo batteries 3.7 per cell.
Because the
Okay.
bottom's 3.25
Well,
on my scale.
when you get a battery, it always comes in storage status. It's always whatever the proper number is that's written on the battery. So if you receive a 4S at 14.8, when you plug it in, most likely it's going to be in that vicinity of being 14.8. That's storage status for the battery. That's 3.7 per cell.
Right.
Right? So if you just do the math yourself, you can tell what your storage status is based on each cell for the battery. Now, if you're running series or parallel, that's a little bit different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
now you have double stacked batteries. So, I mean, batteries can really, like, there's a ton of information that can be learned about batteries, man. This is something I've been studying now for 3 years, and I absolutely love it. I love it, man.
We saw those
batteries are
double
something.
stacks with the Inspire. We saw
Right.
so-
The 6S, but it's actually what? It's
12 cells.
pushed into
Right.
yeah. So running what? Parallel series? I can't even remember. Parallel.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my question from Mitch. So, Mitch, you charge your batteries on Monday, your 1S batteries, and it rained Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Are you going to discharge these batteries with your charger, or are you just going to wait till you get a chance to fly?
Or the 1S batteries.
Yeah.
They take, look, we way abuse these 1S batteries much more than we would the bigger batteries in our drones.
yeah.
His tendency
you
with
don't
these
care.
whoops is to
They're
fly
cheap.
them down to where the thing won't fly anymore, and
Right.
then keep
Or at
pushing,
least
trying to get it home.
3.3.
Yeah,
2.6 volts and
yeah,
stuff like that.
and for some reason they still, no matter how much you try to have a protocol to keep them do everything exactly right, they still puff up like hell. And
Yeah.
even if you, so I think they're junk, most of them. I think most of them are junk, and I don't worry about them. You know, if they stay charged for a week. And I say I basically don't charge them up until right before I'm going to fly.
Right.
And I built a cable that lets me plug 4 of them in and turn it into what the charger sees as a 4S LiPo, and I put it in a balance charger, and I can take it down to storage charge with that.
Right.
Okay, using
Oh, I
my
see.
regular charger.
I wish
So
I could do that with the DJI batteries. Go ahead.
Well, they have a
Stop
built-in
interrupting.
discharge circuit, don't they?
All right.
I'll be right back. I got to get some water.
No,
Don't threaten
it's got on the remote, you can set it for anywhere from 2 days to 10 days.
Right, so it's going to discharge. If you charge it up and don't fly it, it's going to slowly discharge itself. That's smart batteries do that.
I think when they came out with that new set, like when you buy a new Mavic 2 series battery, they put them on 2 days because remember that puff up problem we were having, that swell up problem? Mitch, your camera went out of focus there for a second.
Damn, he looks good.
That's how I feel. Come back to me, come back. There we
There
go.
it is.
Okay.
All right, so Mitch, here's the other thing. So now some people use 3S, 4S batteries for their fat sharks, right?
Yes.
And if they don't use it on Monday and they still have battery left, should they go home and discharge it, or just leave it and wait till you fly
it depends.
again, right?
It depends. For example, I don't agree with Dan on the 3.7. 3.85 is what I've always seen as a storage charge for a
Mine
standard
says
4.2.
35%.
That's what I've seen too.
4.2 volt LiPo. Now, if you have a 4.35 volt LiPo, which is the HV, storage charge for those is about 4 volts. But that's the only HVs that I have are the little tiny whoop ones. And I don't, I usually leave them discharged. If you charge them all up and 3-4 days go by and you say to yourself, there's no way I'm going to be able to get to fly these things in a week or two. Yeah, put them in storage. You can't hurt anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So Dan,
The-
go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt you. You going to say some more, Mitch?
No, that's
No. Dan, when you have fat sharks, right? Stop doing FPV porn over there.
Commander.
Hell yeah,
Oh, Chris
V1,
Hope,
brother.
Chris Hope joined us, by the way. Hello, Chris Hope.
Hey, Chris.
Anyway,
how
when
doing,
you
buddy?
use your fat shark batteries,
Commander V1s, brother. No fat.
whatever the battery, do you have a battery that's a 3S, 4S?
Actually, I use 7.4, man. I use a 2S on mine.
I use the lithium ions
little
on my.
The little Fat Shark one with the USB.
I just got.
Yeah.
I just
Quick
got
plug
this.
in.
I just got this little battery
you
case, and
made-
it takes 2 of the 180s. No, this is a battery case. It's made by.
I thought you made it.
No, not the case. No, this
No, I
case.
know
I made the.
The
I made the
pack.
battery. No, I made the battery pack for my little airplane.
Oh, okay,
But this
that's
is a pack
all right.
designed for goggles. It's got the little barrel connector coming out of it, and
Where'd
it's
you get
got
that?
it's got a balance plug. It's Furious FPV, I think, is who makes it.
From
And those are
RDQ?
his, Carlos,
called
those
a-
are his
yeah, Furious-
18650s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Furious FPV makes this. It's nice because it's got little meters in it when
RDQ?
it'll tell you what the
I got
the
nothing
voltage.
out of you on that, Mitch. All you said was yeah.
What? I didn't hear the question.
I said you made that out of your 18650s, and you said yeah. You're always
Oh,
correcting
no.
me with the zero and the.
I didn't make this.
He wanted
This
you to
case.
say, he was waiting for you to say 186.50.
Right.
180,
Beef carpenter.
18,615. Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
18.
You look, potato. You know, it's like you say 186.50, and
Somebody
yeah,
said
six
six,
and
Dan
one,
said
half a
that
dozen
half
of
dozen.
another. All I know
Anyway,
is
Steve
that
Carpenter
on the
is also
battery
right.
it says 18650. Now you can say that however you want.
Yeah, exactly.
We've already talked about the fact that the 0 is superfluous.
It means everything, Mitch.
It means
Everything.
nothing. Nothing, I tell you, it means nothing.
It stands for nothing, but it means everything.
It's 0. That's why it's a 0.
That makes sense.
All right, anyway, I bought these. These are the little packs that I bought, the little batteries. I got them on eBay for about $7 a piece. They're 3,500 milliamp Samsung packs with solder tabs. See the little solder tabs on them?
That's pretty
So
cool.
they're great for building battery packs out of.
I bet people do the Tesla power walls with those. I've seen that. People use
These
like
things,
hundreds
yeah,
of those things, and
They
they
do.
yeah.
they make the power walls with that. I know a guy that actually made an electric van. What's the matter?
I'm blurry again. There we go. What do you?
ED. That's all
You
I
missed
saw.
the whole first part of it. Somebody asked a question, but you guys were talking, so I spelled out the answer.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay, cool.
You don't want to tell them now, in case they didn't get it.
Boiled.
Boiled. Okay. How are you having your carrots boiled?
I think
Oh man, Frank's beef hot dogs, bro. They're the best.
Beef.
Carlos, I think
Yes, sir.
on the batteries, I think there's a lot of forgiveness there. They're not that picky.
Sensitive.
If you
right?
just follow some very basic rules. Number one, don't leave a fully charged LiPo in a black cloth bag in the trunk of your car in a 120-degree parking lot over the weekend. Okay?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Don't leave. Watch the external temperature of them. Don't fly them down to where they won't fly anymore, because
Is
that's the
3.3
surest way to puff them up. Now 2.9, 2.8, 2.3.
Oh, really? That low?
Yeah. You're gonna
Okay.
you fly a battery down that low, you're gonna end up with a
No,
balloon.
no, no.
when
I'm
you-
saying
when-
3.3 is satisfactory as far as per
3.5 is ideal.
I was gonna
they-
say 3.5 is
3.5.
probably better. than
3.5
top
is about 30%. If you say when I get to 3.5 I'm done.
Yeah.
Or
That-
You just
start
want to
that-
make
working
sure
my
the
way back.
battery has the potential to recover afterwards.
Exactly, yeah, and I've actually ruined some very expensive batteries by running them down to almost nothing, and that was the end of them. They puffed up, and there's no bringing them back. So 3.5, that's my flashing voltage land now on my quads when I get to.
And if
to
you charge
3.5.
it on Monday and it rained Tuesday, Wednesday, and
Yeah, and I
you're
don't
even
think I'm
good
going
for
to be
Thursday
flying.
and Friday that you have to.
No,
go
if I was
and
going to
discharge
fly
it.
Thursday, if I was going to fly Thursday or Friday, I wouldn't bother. If I charged them on Monday and Wednesday I knew I was going to fly tomorrow, I would just leave them. But if I knew I wasn't going to fly till next week sometime,
you might
I'd probably
discharge.
discharge them. Yeah, and I leave. I got a big, crap load of batteries, and I leave them all on storage charge until I decide what I want to fly.
Puffy.
Puffy.
I had
Yeah, I got a. I got a couple of puffers.
I have a graveyard of
I throw-
puffers.
Yeah, you throw them away. You throw them away. I
don't.
haven't figured out what the best brand. I haven't had any luck with those. Was it the GNH or GNB ones?
GNB?
Those
We're talking
puffed
about
up like crazy.
in general.
I charge
Yeah.
them up, and then I attach bottle rockets to them. These make amazing fireworks. They are incredible when they go off, dude.
Mitch or Chris, not Chris, John Coopy. Ovonic batteries. Have you tried those?
I've not tried those.
I
Nope.
have. I like them. I've had good. Yeah, that's a brand that Amazon sells
They're pretty good.
fairly cheap, and you can get them in a day or two.
I've tried these recently, and they are pretty good. The black CNHLs. I am pretty happy with these.
Oh, the
so
China
far.
China hobby line. Yeah.
I've heard those are good.
Yeah.
So-
they're-
Cigar Nation, how do you discharge those batteries? It's really easy. What you do is you cut the terminal off, and then you take your tongue and you put the red and the black right on the tip of your tongue. You just hold it as long as you can. If you have to go multiple sessions, we understand.
Dan,
but
you're
it
gonna
will
get me in. You're gonna get me in trouble, buddy. They're gonna say I electrocuted myself. I heard it on the old guy's live
It's gonna
stream.
sound like
Sue 'em.
bleach. You don't drink bleach.
Oh yeah, the Tide Pod. It's the battery discharge challenge.
A lot of people
There he
got
is,
inventive.
Mr. California.
Like, didn't you make a light bulb?
Gentlemen,
What's that?
gentlemen.
Didn't you make a light bulb to as a
Yeah.
discharger, a drain?
Yeah. Well, I had this. I made this smoke stopper, which is designed. It puts the light bulb in series with the power with the hot lead, so that if your drone, when you plug it in, if you first build it, you got something shorted, it won't short it to the ground. The light bulb will light up, and it'll keep you from blowing up your flight controller. But then old John Coopy did a review
John.
on this thing here.
Oh, I
This,
love that thing, man.
This Vifly short saber or whatever they call it, and this is most of these kind of devices use fuse links in them, and they're one shot and you got to replace. This thing is unbelievable, and we were talking about this last week, and I think that the real benefit of this, John, is the safety you get from using it if you want to plug your drone into a battery in the house with props on it to change one setting in Betaflight without having to remove the props. You can't. Did you try it? Did you try to arm your quad with this thing plugged in?
Yeah, and it won't. The motors maybe run for like 1 split second, and it
Yeah,
stops
as soon as the motors start up and it draws more than an amp, that shuts it down. So you're never going to pull enough power to cut your hand off. That's for sure, or go ballistic or take off. And for that reason, I think it's a hell of a thing to have around.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
just
great tool.
I'm a
Dan's-
full send type of dude, bro. Just plug the battery in and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just let it rip.
Yes, Dan says Dan's a full send kind of guy.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
There's a reason why you're going to be Lance Armstrong, Jr.
He can be the Yule Gibbons takeover guy for grape nuts.
Yeah, it really does remove some of that stress, though. Plugging in a new build, you get all this money into it, and you're like, oh, I hope it works. I mean, I used it during the whole time that I was working on my Marmot, and I just thought to myself, this is great. I feel totally confident about plugging this in 100%. I'm not even really thinking, if I did make a mistake, I'm going to screw it up. Like, it really does remove that build anxiety, so to speak. And I've never smoked any builds really on. Well, no, that's not true. I did once before, something small, but
Minnesota Paul says he got an RDQ for $9.99, dual tip.
Well, this one I got this at RDQ, and it has a 1 amp and a 2 amp setting on it, but you can solder some bridges and change that. I don't see any reason to want to do that, but
there's a switch. A switch does the amperage.
But you can change the from like the trip time from like 3 milliseconds to 9 or whatever by soldering some bridges. I don't need to fool with it,
No.
but no, this is $10-11, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, it's literally $11. It's so worth it. Now I had a question for you. one of my drones.
Wait a minute, you got to put a $5 super chat for that question. I'm only kidding. I'm his business manager as well as secretary.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, and don't forget that 75% that the business manager gets.
Minnesota
sorry
Paul
to
says his
interrupt
has
you.
a meter
John.
and a buzzer too.
I don't know which one you got there. Throw a link up in the chat so we can take a look at which one you got.
You see that, the half amp and 1.1
Yeah, I saw
amp
that.
setting?
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
back to
mine-
John's
this-
question
These
before
just
I
have
really
bulbs
interrupt.
on them. They have a couple of
Sorry,
they have a
John.
green bulb and a red
Oh, no
bulb
worries, man.
and.
John had a
Oh,
question
Robert,
for you, Mitch.
Robert, I got mine at the RDQ Race Day Quads, but John, everybody's got them, don't they?
Yeah,
Banggood's
pretty
got
much
'em.
all. Yeah,
You can probably
BG
find
has
them on
them.
you can probably find them on Amazon now too, for
Yeah,
that matter.
yeah. I wouldn't get it from BG. You'd be waiting like 5 years for it. Unless you-
No. But Race Day Quads, I had it in 2 days when I ordered it from them.
But yeah, the question I had for you, Mitch, was now for the most part when I tried that smoke stopper and I plugged in a battery, it didn't trip anything on the 1 amp setting, but my Chameleon build during its startup process, I guess drew just enough power that it tripped it. I was kind of curious, did you have any quads that either trip the 1 or 2 amp, basically throw a false positive? Did you find any of that?
I haven't really used it. I just tried it out. What I did was I took my marmot, you recognize the marmot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took my marmot, I plugged it in, I put it, I armed it. I was holding it down from the top, with my hand on top of the bag, pressing it down. I armed it, and the prop started to spin, and then pop, it shut it off, which is what I wanted.
Well, that's what you wanted to do. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. So that taking the props off of these things is a pain in the ass. You end up cutting your fingers up on the sharp place. It really is I say to myself, well, I got to plug it in the house because I'm working on my OSD and I want to watch it on the receiver, monitor, and see where the things move to, And it means I got to plug the battery into it. See, if you're just working on Betaflight, you can get away with just plugging in the USB. But if you want the receiver on, and if you want the VTX or the DJI system on or whatever, you're going to have to plug the battery. And it makes me nervous to plug these things in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I trust the electronics, but what happens if this thing all of a sudden decides it's going full bore?
Yeah, then you're screwed. But hey, at least that thing will cut the current right off.
Cut the shit out of you. And the thing with the smoke saver, what happens is it limits the amount of amperage that you can get because the light bulb soaks it up instead. So what happens is with the smoke saver, with the bulb, these things will still run, but they're not going to run powerfully enough to tear you a new one. But with this Wi-Fi thing,
Tie wrap what?
You owe money in the cussing jar, sir. You dropped the S word.
yes.
Demonetized.
I do that. I like the fact that it actually just stops. And in order to reset it, you got to unplug it and plug it back in again. So I think for safety's sake, as well as building quads, it's a good deal to have for $10-11.
Oh hell yeah!
Says stop being lazy and just take the props off.
Take the props off. Yeah. Well, sometimes you have to take the props off when you're building because you want to see the motor spin. You want to make sure they're spinning in the right direction and everything else, and you got to do that. But
I mean, we've all been there and plugged the quad in though on the bench with the props on it, connected to the computer. Because I guess I just got to change this one thing real quick. It should be real quick,
Yeah. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen somebody cut up by a prop.
Oh, blurface.
We saw that a lot in model airplanes. These guys, when I was in RC, some of these guys had horrific injuries. You know what a manatee looks like when cut up by a boat propeller?
Yes, you're blurry, Mitch. That's why I'm.
No, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
I get no respect at all
Add some
here.
sanity
You notice
to
that?
Well, okay, Rodney.
Me and Rodney. Me and
I was about
Rodney.
to
You know?
categorize them in
Me and Rodney.
big-
Rodney Dangerfield. What can you say? You know.
I get
No
no
respect.
respect at all. I went to McDonald's. They told me I didn't deserve a break. You know?
What? You know what? I would be fearful if you did get the respect. All I would do at that point, run.
Yeah. What's wrong?
Run, Forrest.
So what are you snacking on,
man.
Steve? Those aren't French fries?
No, they're green beans. They're organic harvest snaps. They're green beans. They're a snack thing. They're salted. They're baked, and
They're yummy.
they're crunchy. They're crunchy, and they're low in carbohydrates. For me, being a diabetic,
Gotcha.
and they're really good tasting.
They look
Good.
good.
I'm jealous.
But more important than anything you just said, Steve, is they're very California.
Yes. No?
Nothing to do with California, baby.
But they're,
How-
I mean,
how
they're
do-
like,
They're
they're like,
organic.
you know, they're organic health food.
Throwing
you know,
some salt on snow peas, and all of a sudden they're good.
That's
Yeah,
totally
really.
healthy.
It's Costco, so it's not so
Oh,
much
Wesley Farms.
shall we say, PC that everybody has to be around here in this state.
Yeah.
Or if you come up next to me, you'll find out what I think of PC.
No peace.
Carlos is just shaking his head. He's just like,
I do not go for peace. Dan is,
So,
Dan
John,
is
you're gonna put it. You're gonna put a GPS on your marmot,
You're
John?
politically correct.
I'm thinking about it. I'm seriously thinking about it. So
No,
do you have any trouble with it right there?
No, works great. Are you using the DJI radio or are you using Crossfire? Or what are you using?
I'm using Crossfire. I got the
Okay, so you're
Tango
not using.
2.
Okay,
Love
you're not
this
using
thing,
the
man.
DJI radio. Yeah. Have you
No.
ever put a GPS? Have you ever put a GPS on a Betaflight quad for rescue yet? Have you tried
No, it's
It's really
something
easy to do.
I literally I own the GPS, but I never ended up putting it on Chameleon. I said screw it. So now I'm thinking
Well,
of actually using it.
that? You use that Beitin, BEITIAN 220.
You
This
stuck
is
in
a bigger.
LBS.
This is a bigger one, and
Lazy
you can
bastard
actually
syndrome.
you can actually put it out on the arm. It's a
Oh,
great place to mount it. Yeah.
yeah. For
If
me,
you don't want to mount it up here, you mount it right halfway to the motor on the arm, and then push the motor wires down around the front.
I'm still a single ESC person at the moment.
Oh,
individual,
okay. You
so
got.
I can't do.
Wow.
I can't do
do
that.
that.
I thought you were about to tell us about your relationship status, bro.
Well, what a lot of
good
guys are 3D printing things that hook onto the back standoffs posts and then stick backward a little bit. I've got one I did that way too, where it just sits way back here.
Yeah,
And-
and I see your antenna set up there. So can I see that a little closer? Because you've got
Dan, I'll show you
Oh.
mine if you show me yours.
okay.
I 3D printed this. I 3D printed this cross piece out of TPU, and it's got little
Okay.
hooks, and it hooks on the antennas and holds them together. But they're tie wrapped to the frame. They're
Gotcha.
actually
Okay.
tie
And
wrapped to the frame, but this keeps them from flopping down. See, I could slide that up if I want. See this little.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of worried about it flopping down. Let me show you. I wish this part had worked. One of my friends 3D printed this for me. This is pretty cool, but I wish this thing had worked. Here,
Hey, John,
Look at
why don't you
this.
just put a rubber band on them?
You could do
look
that.
at this. Look at this bit in the back. Yeah, but this piece doesn't fit.
Oh.
For some reason, this piece just
They're a
doesn't fit
pain.
right on the marmot.
They're a
But
pain
look at
in the
this.
ass too. But I've got one of them on another frame that I got that came with it. And what a pain in the ass to put the antennas in there and get those little connectors bent around and connected to the back of the air unit.
But I guess once you do it, though, I mean,
It's cool.
they'll
Once
never
you put 'em
break.
on there.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good forever. So
Yeah.
But this one is just too small or something. I tried. I spent at least an hour trying to finagle the antennas in there, and
Is that-
I realized
is that-
that was not going to work.
Is that TPU or is that
Yeah.
PLA?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it
Ethan Mitchell
is it
printed
rubbery?
or something.
Is it rubbery?
Yeah, it's rubbery.
Oh, okay, it's TPU
Yeah,
then.
TPU.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
You're out
You
there.
gotta go.
Yeah, Ed started a stream. I told him I was gonna stop in there too. So.
All right.
Oh, you owe them
Thanks.
some time as well.
Gonna go do a live
Thanks.
fly.
No, just gonna show my nipples off and tap dance in
Yeah.
a circle.
I'm sorry to
That
miss
works
that.
too.
I'm sorry. Sorry you're gonna miss that, Dan.
It's good. It's good. It'll be fun. You guys enjoy without me. Somebody else come on panel. Join this thing. This is
Yeah,
fun. You guys are knowledgeable.
Mr.
Yeah.
Jim Wallace, Mr. Graphics
All right.
has joined you.
Toodles.
See you, buddy.
See you.
Take care.
Maybe I'll pop over. Maybe I'll pop over at Ed's too.
It's
Not
not
right
doing
this
a
minute.
live fly.
I'm not
It's
gonna leave
probably
you, Mitch.
over at.
Oh, there's Art Code.
Yeah, here I am. Sorry I'm late
Goes to
this evening. Had a
neighborhood.
little trouble
And
getting down here.
Adrian's
Glad
in
to
the chat.
see you're okay, man. After that car
Oh,
accident.
yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I heard about that. What happened,
Holy
man?
crap.
Oh, this kid stopped all of a sudden in front of me and ran right into the back. Hey, Steve, like your shirt.
Thank you. Looks familiar.
He stopped. He stopped in
I'll tell you,
front of
man.
you.
I got to get some shirts printed up. These guys come on my show with the other guy's shirt on. This is
Stopped in front of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
and you hit him.
At
So
a
it's
red
your
light?
fault.
At a stop sign?
The light was green. Yeah.
Was he trying to get? Was he trying? Was it an insurance
No,
scam? Was he trying to get?
And all I did is I glanced over here, turned, and all of a sudden,
That was the thing,
Oh,
the glance.
geez. Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
The glance blew the whole thing, Carlos.
yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you all right?
And I'm
You
sure
all
when
right?
he was glancing,
Yeah,
at-
I'm
had
good.
curves.
Boy, was I shaken up yesterday. I was just like, it took several hours for me to just come down from that
Oh, I bet.
adrenaline rush.
How hard did you hit him?
Well, if you saw the photos, I mean, it
I didn't get
crumpled
to
the
see it.
hood, and
It crumpled.
Oh, wow.
It's bad, dude.
Are,
It's
are you in
bad.
one of those states like Florida? Florida's a no-fault state. So even if you
Right.
get rammed into, you both get screwed on your insurance.
No, but the guy in the back.
Yeah, but one
definitely-
guy gets a ticket. Generally, the guy who's at fault gets a ticket,
Yep.
and the other guy
well,
doesn't.
I didn't get a ticket. I just got a court summons.
Well,
That's the same thing.
that. What do you think? That is a
Yeah,
ticket.
that's
Okay. Well, I gotta show up at court on September 3rd.
Does your state require you to report it to the motor vehicles?
It's
Well,
a
the
lot-
police
cops
came
were
out.
right
The
there.
cops,
Oh, the cops were there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they take care of it.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, I call.
in
I
Cal-
was the
in California,
911 or
That's a
911 if you're occasional optical cortex, whatever that gal is from New York.
in
Call
Cal-
911. What's the
in-
number?
That's what I did.
in California, if
somebody
it's
told-
over $1,500 of damage, you have to report it to the DMV, whether you put a police report or not.
Right.
You have to report a form to the DMV
In
because that
Florida,
goes.
the police car has a computer in it, which reports it to the world right then
Yep.
and there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
Doesn't
CNN's
matter.
got it after that.
So,
Mhm.
hey, so hey,
Somebody
Art.
told Art to dial 911, but he couldn't find 11 on the phone. So
That's
had
right.
Yeah,
to,
that's,
right?
that's
That's
right. Yes, John.
I was gonna say, Art, is this the first time you've had an accident
Oh,
like
hell
this?
no. Hell no. Have you seen
This
his?
is the first
his
one I've
videos?
had in 40-something years.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
man. Why lie to us, man? I thought we were friends here.
The reason I ask is, I mean, I had an accident a few years ago. Now it's been probably like 4 or 5 years ago. It was a really messed up. It was a failure to yield for left-handed turn. But it's more complicated than that. But anyway, yeah, I got the court summons and all that stuff. But I ended up not having to go. I sat down with the prosecutor, and basically
Really?
they, yeah. I was able to sit down with the prosecutor, and they were like, "Look, we can just we'll just work this out. You'll have to pay a higher fine, but we'll work it out." And they dropped it. It ended up being I pled guilty to driving with defective muffler, and I didn't end up with a moving violation on my license. I don't know how legal any of that was, but that's what they did. And that's what's on record.
I don't even understand that you have to go to court. You just
Called plea
the
bargaining.
the insurance
Plea-
company deals with that. I don't have any court.
Well, your
My
insurance
wife-
company, your
My
insurance
wife
company would deal
totaled
with
her
it.
car and the car she hit Thanksgiving 2 years ago. They paid me
You're-
for the car. I never went to anybody's court date or anything, and the party was over.
Yeah, but that's for if you get sued by the other person's insurance. This really doesn't have anything to do with that. This had to do with me
Oh, they personally
versus the
sued
state.
you?
No one ended up personally suing me for that, but this was just me versus the state for the traffic violation. That was all that was. That's
There was
all
no
that
no
was.
accident. No accident. or
I
anything,
understand.
huh?
But-
As far as the state was concerned, there was no accident.
So
This
why
is-
do you have to go to court, Art? I don't understand. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Is
Like
it because of the ticket also?
I got a
Probably-
ticket too, though, for that. So yeah, who knows?
Probably distracted driving. That's my
No,
guess.
but they can't tell you. How can they give you a ticket if they didn't witness it?
What did they
You
tell?
know
What
what
did
I'm
you
saying?
tell them? You didn't tell them that you.
I was
Well,
looking at the girl
I'm-
walking down the block with the short skirt.
Ah,
Boom!
yeah.
This is a drone show, guys. So I thought I'd put on some. While we're talking about traffic accidents, I'd put on
Okay.
okay,
some
cool.
drone flying.
What did you
Nice.
tell him,
I know
Art?
too. Yeah.
What
Oh,
was
I
your
just told
excuse?
him I just glanced to the right and turned and saw traffic was stopped, and that was it. You know, I'm not going to lie to the cop and say, no, I was paying attention. How do I know that kid in front of me didn't have a rear-facing camera?
Right.
And there's
You don't.
cameras everywhere, you know,
Art, there's a
because this
difference
is
between
like right
volunteering
near a
information and
major
lying.
highway.
There's a difference between lying and volunteering information.
That's what I was gonna say,
There's
Carlos.
a big
Yeah.
difference.
Right.
Most lawyers will tell you you answer a question yes or no, or you don't say anything.
Yeah.
That's the best. Anyway, Mitch, why is it coming out so blurry?
in
All
the
right,
in
anyway,
the
I'm
moment
glad
though,
that
I
you're
will
safe
admit
and
when you're
healthy.
in the moment though when you're shaken from an accident like that, because I mean, when I had my accident, I got hit hard from from the right. Literally, it pushed my car super forward, and there was just dust flying everywhere, and I'm just like, oh my god, it was bad. So to keep yourself together after you go through that, I totally get what you mean, Art, when you feel shaken, like you're like,
yeah,
oh my
it
god.
sucks. It's terrible.
Mhm.
And then my first thought, literally, when I got out of the car was, oh,
How
I
many
see-
F words did you say, John?
Well, I'll tell you how it
He just
went.
said it
I
now.
can tell you, I said a lot of F words after that.
Well, I
I
wasn't
jumped
saying
out of the
that,
car and I'm like shaking my head. And,
but- well, so you talk about F words, right? So I
There
get
must
out
have
of
been
the
a
car.
lot of
The
adrenaline if you were jumping. But anyway,
dust is still clearing, right? And the car that I'm driving, since it was hit from the side, it's actually not too bad. Like the airbags didn't even deploy or anything. But
Mine
they hit
didn't
me.
either.
Right. Well, but they hit me, and I could see they were driving an SUV or something, and all I saw was, oh, their car was crunched. The front, the airbags have blown. All I'm thinking of is, oh my God, is anyone hurt? And as the dust is clearing, I hear this old lady saying, "What the were you thinking?" and it made me so happy to hear that person's voice, because I'm like, oh my God, they're alive. And then I asked, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, is anyone else in the car? They're like, no, but this is ruined. But even so, I just heard their voice. They were okay. I'm thinking to myself, this is okay.
Yeah.
Nobody died here. And just to hear their voice and watch them come out of a bunch of
Relief.
dust. I mean, that's all I remember.
yeah, the kid came over and asked me if I was okay. And I said, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just pretty shaken up. And
you must have been going pretty quick then. All right, 20 miles an
no,
hour,
I was
maybe?
going the speed limit,
No, all right, so what was that, 20, 30 miles an hour or 10?
something like that.
Oh, okay, I thought it was just at a red light, and then all of a sudden they stopped or something.
No,
took-
we
they
had
took
just
off.
gone through a red light.
So Art had
And-
just pounded on the gas pedal, just getting up to 40 when this guy stops for no reason.
So your car is totaled, repairable? What's the
Probably total.
story? Were you
They
covered?
totaled,
Yeah.
they
Just
totaled
stop-
cars for almost nothing today. They totaled cars for literally
What did
almost
he
nothing.
have to say? Why did he say he stopped?
Yeah, why?
Did you ask him? Why the hell did you
No,
stop in the middle of
didn't.
nowhere?
I was just like so flustered and just
Do you get a copy of the police report?
Yeah, it's
You
right
didn't
here.
come out swinging your
You already
crutches
have it?
saying, what the
No.
hell did you stop for on a green?
No.
You already got the police
I
report?
didn't
That's
come
pretty
out
quick.
and say, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
That's a dwarf joke. Get it? Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's an important question. I do hope you get a copy of the police report and figure that kind of thing out. Because, like in my case, yeah, okay, it was
That says it all.
failure to yield. They just barely clipped me, but they were doing like 25 over the speed limit. So,
Oh, okay.
I mean, so we both ended up getting a ticket for it, and that's probably part of why I never heard anything about the damn thing again.
How did they know you were going 25 over the speed limit? You actually were radar?
No, they were. They were.
How did they know they were going?
I don't know how they knew that. I can't
So how
remember.
can they
how
give
they
a
did it.
ticket?
They can pull it right out of your car
That's
diagnostics. out
that's
of the
right.
car.
Yeah.
The diagnostics. They got it from the
Yep.
diagnostics. Yeah, because
They
they
could
had to
do
haul
that.
that vehicle away. It was junk. They literally had to
Really?
tow it away. So they got it
Yep,
from
same
the.
here.
I
Damn.
remember
black
once
box.
I was double parked helping my brother jump his car, and a drunk driver hit the car that was double parked. And he was clearly drunk. The cops came, and I said, "Look at him, he's drunk." Yeah, but we didn't see him driving the car. We can't give him a DWI.
Well, I mean that's different. But the car
Is it? I don't
computer.
know.
I mean,
The car was
I don't
wrecked.
know.
He crashed it. He was behind me, but yet they didn't see him crash it into me, so he couldn't do anything. That made no sense to me.
yeah, I guess so. I
You
don't
could bear,
know.
You could bear witness as a citizen's arrest for the person.
Yeah, well, I was much younger, and I was just lucky I wasn't hurt. I was in the car too. My brother was
Yeah.
just on the other side. Thank God, when he hit us.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
car accidents suck.
They do
Back
suck.
to drones.
And then to
All
get
right,
back on the
to
road
drones.
after that. Oof.
Back to drones.
Art, how's your FPV been doing?
Well,
He doesn't even fly GPS.
Hey, dude, I keep forgetting to send you a bunch of those antennas, man.
Oh,
I keep
okay,
forgetting.
great.
But I do have your address, and I'll get some out to you. Because you haven't...
what
Have you
came
tried to
in the
fly that bigger
mail.
one?
Send an antenna to somebody who's actually
Yeah.
going to fly a drone.
Well, that was the problem. That was the cause of the accident. He was flying his FPV when
There
he
you
rear-ended
go.
that other car.
this is, now I can fly my Mavic Air 2. Got a new phone.
What are you going to do
Samsung
for
you,
fun
oh,
now?
oh, you
Galaxy.
did? Okay.
Is
Oh,
it
nice.
activated?
No, I just got it. I just opened the box and
Oh,
You
you got to
going
activate
to-
it now.
yeah, I'll activate it
Do you have
very quickly.
Does it have a SIMS card that you could just take out of one and put in the other?
Yep, I
Right.
hope so. They gave me a thingamabob to poke it to
Oh yeah,
pop
the
it
little
out. Now, where did I put
circle
that?
Yeah,
with
little-
the pin.
Paperclip looking thing.
Yeah,
So have you
There
been
it
flying? Have you been flying the
this little
simulator?
guy, right?
Art? Have you
Pardon?
been flying a simulator?
No, I haven't. I've been studying for my recurrent test, so I've been busy with
okay.
that. Yep.
Priorities.
Yeah.
How are they
What-
handling the testing centers and all
That's-
that with
I
everything
gotta
going
find
on right
out
now,
about
Art?
that.
Ours are closed. Ours are closed right now.
There's extensions too. You don't have
Yeah.
to go take it.
They well, there's an online. You go online and take this this test. What they've done, there's a test. We talked about this last week. There's a test that is for pilots, guys with pilots licenses who also have a 107. Because if you have a pilot's license, you don't need to go through the same ground school nonsense that the drone pilots do. Take the same 107 written test. You go get your 107 a different way. And when it comes time to renew your 107, you go online and take this can't fail test. You can't fail it. You go through the motion, you go through and the lessons, you read the lessons, you answer the test question, you answer the questions, and if you get one wrong, they tell you got it wrong, try again. Okay?
Nice.
Try again?
Oh,
You got it, you still got it wrong, try again. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, you got it right, and then you have to get 100 on that test. You can't. The idea is it's a no-fail test. They don't want you to fail. They want you to have just to read the crap. You know, you read the stuff and you answer the question. So You pass but remember, this is for guys that are current pilots who have to take all those tests for real. Their recurrency tests for both ground school, flight checks, physicals. You know, the drone. They figure if a guy can become a current and maintain a current pilot's license, they don't have to make them prove as much to be a drone pilot. You know.
Gotcha.
So they've got this. So they've got this test on FAA safety.gov, and there's tons of tests, and you find that the recurrent test for pilots for drone renewals, and you take the course and you take the test, and you print out and you pass it, and you get a certificate that says you've passed it. Now, what they've done is they've said, okay, if you were due for your 2-year recurrent test and couldn't take it because the testing centers weren't open, take this other test, get the certificate, and then from that point you have 6 months to do the real test.
I see.
So you still have to take the test. They gave you, it's like getting an extension on your income taxes. They've saying, okay, well, you've taken the easy can't fail test, so that will give you another 6 months on that. But sometime before that 6 months is up, you're going to have to go take your 2-year recurrent test. Paid $160. Bite the bullet.
Mitch, question for you. Did you have to come up with the 160 to do that reoccurring test?
No. No,
so
no
you
charge.
didn't?
No, it's a
Okay.
freebie. Yeah.
I
It's a
thought,
freebie.
well, when you said the IRS, I was going to say, well, your extension, you got to pay all the money up front whether you
Well,
extend
yeah,
or not.
that's true. I just went through that. You think I'm so lazy. I hate doing taxes. I put them off till like the last minute, not even the last day, the last minute of the last day.
I got my signed certificate back from the IRS showing that I mailed it in.
Do you do your own? Mitch?
I did mine online. I just went online, paid it online, paid the extension and the estimated. I paid them an amount I figured would be close to what I'm going to have to pay. That's all they care about. I could probably never file the taxes, and they probably never give a damn. As long as they got some money, they're happy. But
you hear that?
I think we got until October 15th now to actually file the taxes.
I
And yes,
didn't-
I do my own taxes because my taxes are very simple
Right,
now that I'm
that's
pretty
what
much
I
retired.
was
Yeah.
getting at.
People in Rhode Island got their tax returns signed by Mickey Mouse and like Walt Disney or something. There was a few checks.
What?
I kid you not. Google
Really?
it, Steve. People in Rhode Island got their checks returned, like 170 some odd checks. Mickey Mouse and somebody else. If you Google it, you'll see it. Rhode Island. Google Rhode Island tax returns. You'll see.
I will have to check that out.
Rhode Island. No,
Mickey Mouse,
I
yeah.
won't do it. I won't do it online. Ever since about 5 years ago, I went to file because I do mine. I use Intuit TurboTax for
Right.
business.
Yep,
and,
that's what I use.
personal.
Yeah.
And I do it that way, and I go complete, all done, ready to file. I go to file. Your taxes have already been filed.
Whoa.
I'm going,
I
what do
hate-
you mean my taxes are already filed?
Oh,
So that started a 6-month investigation to find out that my W-2 had been stolen out of a mailbox out of a previous past employer, and they had filed against it, and they did it for 2 years. Well, from that point on, I tried
Wow.
to get it remedied with the IRS, and I said,
Good
no,
luck.
I'm not going to file online. I'm going to continue to mail it in because you will not give me the information, which I know you have, who filed it, so I can file a police report for
Right.
fraud. And I says, unless you can do that, I'm not doing it automatic. I'm going to do it manual every year until you can come up and give me the information that you have, so I can file a police report.
Why?
And
What a world! What a world we live in, man.
Yeah.
yep.
Why
and you know
wouldn't
what they
tell
ended
you?
up getting? They ended up walking away 2 years in a row with almost $2,800 that didn't come out of me, but it came out of the federal government. So $5,600 I know for 2 years. Who knows what's happened, because I know they've done it again. So they're still doing it, but they're getting the money, and then the money's gone.
It's crazy.
So it's
This is under your personal taxes. Wow.
Yeah, I don't use an EID number for it.
Right.
I don't have a corporation, so I
Yeah.
just do it private.
Yeah.
Right.
Mitch,
Hey,
Rhode
what do you
Island
do when
mistakenly
you-
sent
I didn't
more
get
than
the.
107. Real quick, Rhode Island mistakenly sent more than 175 tax refund checks signed by Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse, rather than the state treasurer and controller. Oh, you see it too, right?
I have to Google it to believe it, but oh my god.
How do you?
I'm sorry,
How does that mistake happen?
I have
I
a
think
question.
somebody was having fun. It had to.
Walt,
Yeah.
Walt Disney's not alive, so how in the hell is that possible?
That's
Good
funny.
question.
That's funny.
Carlos's shirt is perfect. That's just
Yeah, that's
classic, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, what I was saying
Oh,
was
my
I didn't get a 1099 from companies I had worked for. I'm not going to go chasing them for it.
As long as they didn't turn it in and you didn't get a copy. If they turned it into the IRS, then the IRS is going to be looking at their computers are going to
It
be
can take
looking
a while.
for the
It can take a
matching
few years.
1099 on your tax
That's what
return.
I'm saying. How the hell do I know? Because I know I didn't get a copy.
Well, if you earn less, I think I know it used to be
$800?
$600, Steve. Is it
600?
still 600?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you make less than $600, then they don't need to even report it. It's casual. They don't need to fill out a 1099. It's just
If it's more than
considered casual
600,
labor.
they have to turn it in and have it to you in your be
By
mailed out
February.
by no later than January, the last day of January.
I thought it was the last day of
January,
February.
No,
The
they-
last
no.
day of January.
January.
Okay, good to
1099
know.
miscellaneous. This is
Oh,
what
okay.
he would be receiving because I get paid the same way.
Yeah, and I didn't get it from a development company, and I'm like, you didn't report it?
Was it less than
If you didn't report it, I'm not going to report it.
Well, the thing is, if you have to find out, because if they reported it and you don't, then the government's going to. You may or may not,
Interest,
depending on how
yeah.
much it is. But they're going to say we have documents with no matching documents from you.
Right.
I had that happen to me one year.
Was
on
it less than
certain-
$600?
No, it was a couple of grand, but it annoys me to have to go chase it.
Yeah.
That
But this is for 2000.
Instead of chasing it, why don't you report
This
it
is for
yourself?
2019, right? So.
yeah.
If they haven't mailed it by now, it's too late. But if I were you, I would check to see if they did.
How do you do that? I mean,
Contact
check with the
them.
company.
You have
You
to
gotta
call
call
them.
them.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't know if they
And
was-
ask them, did you send me it? I mean, they're not. If they didn't do it, they're not going to do it now. It's way too late. They had to file those things last year.
Right.
There's some separate filings. One is the filing to the IRS and then Department of Treasury, and the other filing is to the recipient. It's two different forms that are sent.
Yep.
I was
Is
just. I
Is
was
it
just
fair to say that taxes
simplified.
have to be paid even if
Mhm.
if Jim doesn't get the 1099? Like what I'm saying is like if you don't get a bill, credit card bill or whatever, you're still responsible, even if you
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
bill. If you get
I
lost
mean,
in
it's
the
an
mail or
honor.
whatever.
They say our taxes are an honor system. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Right. I mean, like
Yeah.
when I
They're-
ordered
they're
something.
standing there with a baseball bat over your head, and they're going, "You're going to be honorable, aren't you? Because this is
Right.
an honor system." Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it clearly goes against the write-off of the equipment, so it doesn't matter. But I was just like, I'm not going to chase you for something I don't even know if you reported. I don't know how they handle their business. You know what I'm saying?
Are they
Well,
still
it's
in
your
business?
it's your responsibility if they didn't receive it by within the first week of February. It is your responsibility to contact them.
Yep.
But that shouldn't be.
Whether it should
But it
be or
is.
not,
That's
it
a
is.
different
Yeah,
story.
it is. A
Yeah,
lot of
just
things
like-
the Internal Revenue Service does shouldn't be. But it
We
is.
all
Like collect taxes.
No, I'm just saying this is a big enough company that I would have expected. So I kind of thought that maybe they didn't
forgot
report it. Is what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was
You're
thinking.
thinking or hoping?
My question
No,
is,
no, I can't hurt me. Yeah, it's a
did you report it?
no. How can I report
Well,
it?
then,
I don't
well,
have a
well-
1099.
Well, you know how
Still
much you
report it with that
received.
1099.
You know
You know
how
what you
much they
made.
paid you.
You know
all-
how much they paid you.
Right.
Yeah, but
what's gonna happen?
how
So
would I
what can-
report that company?
You just fill it in
Just
manually.
write
on
it
the
in.
form.
You write the
just
company
write it
name in and say, "I got this many dollars." And
I don't
whether
need their EIN.
No,
You
you're
have
covering
their
your.
EIN.
If you don't have to pay taxes, if you've got something to offset it,
Yeah, I do.
well, then I would absolutely put it on your tax form. If you're not
Yeah.
going to, if it's not going to cost you any money, err on the safe side. Put it on there. Put their company name. I received such and such and such and
Yeah.
such from them. I got this income. You're clear. Now they may turn around, and go back to that company and say, "How come you didn't?" This guy says
Right,
he
right.
made
That was
money.
their
How come? But do you care? That's not your problem. That's
It's
They
their
not
don't
your
want to
problem.
make an enemy either. They you know.
Yeah.
You,
Well,
you, were,
but
you wouldn't be
Yeah, but
making an
you
enemy
also
by.
want to cover your butt. That's all.
You're
That's all
trying to
doing.
stay out of jail, is what you're trying to do. It's what do you care about them? Either
Yeah,
that.
listen, if a company
or
I work
call
for, if I
them.
made a couple grand or whatever, actually called me up and said, "Hey, what the hell did you do reporting what you
Yeah,
made
right.
on your taxes?" I'd be like, "What the hell? I keep
Yeah, what
a
are you,
log of what
crazy?
I make, and I just reported it. Get out of here!"
Jim,
No,
call them
no,
on
what
the,
what you-
if it's not going to cost you any money and you're going to
No.
report it anyway, call them on the phone and ask them if how come you didn't get a 1099?
Yeah.
I
That's
guess
all.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know if they were not reporting it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well,
That's,
if you
that's
call
how, that-
if you
that's
call
how
them,
they know. That's how they know. They put it in. It's a simple form, and it's a one-page form, and I forget how many payees that you're reporting, which would be a 1099 miscellaneous. It's a one-page IRS form that goes to them. It's total lump sum, and then what they do is they enclose a copy A of the same thing that you receive for every single person that goes in. And that's sent to them. And that's got to be to them by the end of January.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious as to why I didn't get it, and then I was like,
Yep.
Hello,
Maybe they're
Joe
not
Blow Company.
reporting it?
Where's my 1099?
yeah. You know, I would just call them kind of like casually. Say, I'm finally getting around to doing my taxes. Didn't I earn some money with you guys
Listen to
last year?
this guy.
Yeah.
Did you send me? Did you send me a 1099? Because I can't find it. I would do
Yeah.
it that way, And then if they
Yeah.
say no, we didn't send you a 1099, then
plan
it's
to.
up to you. You can, if you know they didn't send one in, you can leave it off, or you
I
put
would.
it in anyway.
I mean,
Yeah, I
they're
mean-
nice enough guys. I don't want to get them in trouble
Well,
or anything like that.
Then just put it in there with a company name that's it's not going to have any company identification numbers. Just put
Right.
down, something that's close to their name. And nobody's
Yeah.
going to say,
No,
listen,
no, no,
nobody's
no.
going to say anything to you.
Put their name in because
Well, Mitch
Well,
can be right because if I don't have the 1099, I don't know their exact name. I don't.
Yeah,
They
their-
could be
their
using
name
a
might be,
DBA.
you received
know
a
that.
check from them, Jim.
Yeah, but he
that's the
doesn't still
problem.
have the
Steve's
Steve.
right.
There's a stub
Steve.
on that check, Mitch.
Steve.
There's a stub that comes with that
Steve.
check, and the corporate name is on it.
Don't make me use the mute button. Steve, what I'm saying is, if the name of the company is Emerald Coast Development and Finance Company,
Right,
and he
right.
puts Emerald,
Coast. Or
he
Emerald
just puts
Coast.
Emerald,
Yeah.
$1,500, he's covered. He's covered. And
Yeah,
yet
close
the
enough.
IRS is never going to make the connection between the word Emerald and this company. That's what I was saying. I'm not saying to
Yeah.
try to cheat, but make it, you could make it casual.
Yeah, I'm
you
just
done-
trying. I don't want to get them in trouble if I don't have. They were
You're
nice
not-
guys,
yeah.
Well, all I can say
Well,
is
it may
either
be
somebody,
that they didn't write off the $2,000 that they gave you.
There you
It may be they paid you out of some slush fund or
That's
something
what I
that,
was
they,
thinking.
they didn't want to declare. Who knows?
Right,
I don't
right,
know.
Right.
Let me
There's a
tell
lot
you.
of under the table employees in this country who
you
get
wouldn't
paid
be
off
doing
the
it
books.
by check if you want it under the table.
That's
Let me
true
tell you-
too.
That's
They
true,
did
too.
pay
Let me
Yeah.
tell you
Yeah, you're
one thing perfectly clear. I am not a crook.
Don't pick on Richard Nixon. I liked him. I
Yeah.
voted
Yeah.
for him, and I liked him.
Drone Kings in Darwin asked, can I
Can
connect
you-
my controller to a 1099?
Yes,
And where does the SD card
he
go?
needs a line of sight for a 1099.
I think Steve is the sharpest one here if you want to, do good on your taxes,
Yeah.
from what I can tell.
No, it's less than $600, Drone King. And that's only for the United States. This information does not have anything to do with any other country but the United States of America.
Man, I wonder, you know what? I wonder how he does do his tax over there. If they're taxed more than us or whatever in Australia.
And speaking of reporting, has everyone reported their sales tax for those $0 sales tax online orders to their states? We've all done that, right? We're all reporting that, right?
Yeah, of course we are. Yeah,
we're all good.
You know, Mitch, we have that special tax district. You know, that one in that Melbourne, Palm Bay, right on Palm Bay Road that goes off.
Oh, is that an enterprise zone?
Yeah,
tax free. Yeah, that's for importing stuff, though, isn't it?
No. It's actually a higher tax. It's 1.5% higher sales tax in there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I have to stay. I have to stay out of there and not buy anything in there.
I'm serious. It is. I don't know what the hell. I forget what they called it. District or whatever.
Yeah, being in the state of California, there's not an online seller that does not collect California sales tax.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that.
It amazes me here in Florida how little online sales tax gets collected. Amazon, most of the stuff I buy from Amazon is not taxed, and that amazes me.
Yeah,
same here. Yeah,
you don't have a state tax, right?
We do. Yeah, 7%.
Is it that high?
Yeah, 7% sales tax.
Surprised.
And well, depends which county you live in, because usually it's 6% from the state, and then these counties throw a point on or 1.5 or 2 points.
What are you up to, Steve?
7.75 here in Orange County.
Well, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
All the way up to 11 point something in parts of LA.
I think we're 8.65.
You're ridiculous, Carlos, because you have to pay New York City taxes, New York State taxes, and then federal. taxes.
Yeah,
you get triple taxed in New York City in the 5 boroughs.
And now I heard that if you try to get into New York, you're gonna have to quarantine yourself for. They got guys, troopers on the road stopping every sixth car or every 8th car or whatever. Yeah, crazy.
For what?
To quarantine. If you come in from out of state, into New York. Yeah.
No, this is new. Go ahead, Mitch.
I was going to say, if you come into New York from out of state, you have a 14-day mandatory quarantine. In other words, you got to tell them, I'm coming into the state.
And you got to tell them, or it's a 2
And now here's where I'm going to be for the next 2 weeks, quarantining myself. If they catch you,
fill out papers. Imagine.
Yeah, if they catch you not quarantining yourself, the fines can go up to I heard $10,000.
You know, Carlos, I lived there for 34 years.
Yeah, but you lived in a nice part of it. But anyway,
I was 20 miles from what they call New York City on Long Island. It's all on Long Island anyway. But the difference is, there's so many normal guys that I lived with and that were around me and that I hung out with, and you included, and yet it's a total Democratic state. How does that happen?
I don't get it. I think
upstate New York is Republican primarily.
Yeah,
upstate New York primarily.
It's just that New
Costco
York
won with like 16 or 18,000 votes. She won with hardly any votes. It's just nobody showed up, and that's why she's in there. That's what happens. Not enough voting.
Oh, and did you hear Tlaib won her primary?
Oh, did she?
Yep.
I heard that. Oh, how about Omar? I thought that she. She win too.
Omar's got that one gal that outraised her by the one thing. $3 million outraised her in a fundraiser. This just in this last month alone.
Good.
Robert Glazer says New Mexico will hold you for 14 days too.
Huh.
Oh, and the governor.
Something?
That's nuts.
If everybody took the masks off and just get this thing friggin' over with already. If you're gonna get COVID, get it. Let's get it over with.
Yeah.
Taking this thing out for 8-10 months now.
You know what it is? It's called. All they're doing is they are just making this matters worse because they're not letting the people's immune system build back up in order to come down with it. By wearing the mask, if you are holding it, because you could be symptomatic, but not showing any response of it. All you're
Right.
doing is keep it inside yourself, and you're not letting your system flush it out like you would be going out fresh air and going out and getting exercise. The immune system is down, and that's what it is. It's all about the immune system.
Oh,
I-
did you hear what the governor of Michigan just did today?
Oh,
Care.
I wouldn't.
No, I didn't hear.
Kids 12 and under have to wear a mask in their house.
How can they enforce that? And people
What
would
are they
I
gonna
don't
do?
know, but I just
Basically
saw a
enforceable.
posting on Facebook about it from my friend Randy
man.
Schaefer.
I have something that I have no sympathy for anybody that lives in a state run by these fools because they elected them.
Right.
And they elected them. Okay,
How
you
did
elected
Cortez
these.
get
You
elected?
elected these people. You elected these people. Then now you're stuck with the crap that they put up. Okay, you don't like it. Don't complain. Vote them out next time. That's all you can do. Yeah, I mean it's absurd. I'm tired. I'm so tired
Yes.
of
Yeah.
hearing all these people complain. Somebody voted for these fools.
I don't wear masks.
And these fools aren't hiding who they are anymore. They used to, but
Oh,
not
yeah,
anymore. They're right out there in the open, you know.
Okay, Mitch, you're a smart
Yes.
man.
Enough
So
politics.
these masks are supposed to help you. And I think it was Mike Night Train that made the point, made me laugh, but also made me think. He goes, "Let me see. If I fart and I fart through my underwear and my pants and you smell it, what good is a mask going to do as far as? Isn't it the same?"
The mask is only stopping you from spreading it. The
Yeah.
mask does not filter the air coming into you. It
I bet if you go in
filters
a room
your
full of
spreading
crap,
it.
you're gonna
It
smell
depends.
with the mask.
I think the virus is what, 3 microns, Steve?
I don't even.
0.3 microns. It's
0.3
less. It
microns.
can be less than
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so anything less than an N95 type mask
Isn't doing shit.
with a good seal, or an industrial respirator like they use when they spray paint that has to remove these particles. Anything other than that is not going to keep you from
Useless.
breathing.
Yeah.
Certainly not a handkerchief
No.
or a clothing. But what it does,
It's mental.
is it stops the spray.
Yeah.
It
That's what I
stops
just
the-
said.
It stops the spit. Yeah, that's what it does.
Yeah.
Okay, and they've
Particulates.
shown pictures of people sneezing and coughing where you can actually see how it spreads. And I think about that when I sat out on my patio smoking a cigar. Okay, because cigar smoke is particulate. It's
Right.
actually particles. Okay, when I blow out, just blow a little cigar smoke, that stuff goes and stays in the air. It doesn't, and this is how the virus particles would probably
That's
mimic
correct.
that kind of thing. Now, if I stuck my face in a cloth mask and blew cigar smoke, it'd go right through the mask.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know if the masks are doing any good. I know that they say masks are to protect everybody else from you, but not to protect you. That's what they say. Then some fools go and they wear what they call respirator masks, the ones with the little plastic valves in the front.
It's
Yep.
a
Well,
non-rebreather.
those plastic valves are one-way valves. They have a flap that lets the air out, but
It's
not in.
called non-rebreather.
Yeah, they're designed for people that are working in real dusty environments, removing asbestos, to keep it from coming in. But it doesn't limit what they breathe out in any way. So of all the dumb things to be wearing when you're trying to protect the other guy is a mask that lets everything you're breathing out.
But those have a carbon. Those masks are designed with a carbon filter that sits inside the mask that protects it going through. And those carbon filters are supposed to be replaced every day.
The one that I have had no carbon filter in it. It just had a rubber
regular
flap on it.
plastic mask,
Yeah, it's a plastic thing with a rubber flap.
With a flap.
Yeah.
A regular medical device called non-rebreather.
I find it interesting that people are actually waiting for a cure from the outside in instead of trying to cure it from the inside out by building.
I'll
your
tell you
immunity.
when
You
I'll
couldn't
tell you what
cure
the
the
cure.
normal cold, and you can't cure
Right.
the
flu.
So
Right.
Yeah, it's a virus. The
That's what I'm
cure's
saying.
going to come the day. The cure's going to come the day after election day, miraculously.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
going to
And
disappear.
I'm
Yeah.
still wondering where
What
the
virus?
terrorists are. Where are the terrorists? They
virus?
took vacation
Yeah, what
in the
virus?
last 7 or 8 months.
Yeah.
I don't hear about Al Qaeda or ISIS. I don't hear about these people anymore. They're on
how about
vacation.
the explosion in Beirut the other day?
I mean,
Did you
that's
see
more.
about
that
it.
crater?
Yeah, no, I
That's
heard about it.
Oh,
that's
gee.
tragic.
That was, from what I understand, it's like a sub. It's almost like a sub-kiloton nuclear explosion.
It was
It
one.
looked like
it was
it.
1/5 the power of the bomb on Hiroshima.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Did it have any clues about who did it?
who, what, where,
Well,
when?
it was all it was all the chemical storage in the building. How
Yeah.
or what is still is being investigated.
Oh, so they think it might have been an accident?
It could be an accident or it could be on
Okay.
purpose. It's stuff that they had confiscated and they had
Yeah.
it stored there.
From
Look
what
at
I
it on the New York
understand, it
Times
was
website, Mitch.
it was a ship that they ran out of money, and the sailors pretty much said, "Hey, we'll sell you this because we're out of money because the people that own the boat didn't have enough money for food or water, and so that's why they were in Beirut to try to sell some stuff to get some food and water and complete their trip." And they just ended up saying, "Screw it, we're out of here. Just, give us enough money, get us back home." So the ship stayed there, and from what I understand, the customs guy was screaming his head off, "No,
Oh, wait a
don't
minute,
store it there. Don't store it in the warehouse. Keep it on the ship, or get it to where you can sell it to someone else and carry on." And nobody listened. The Port Authority said, "Screw you, we're going to store it in this warehouse." Yeah, watch this. Look at that. That
That's just something
shockwave.
else.
Somebody wrote.
How many
some
people
welders-
got killed?
Like
100
40, I
some odd.
think.
I thought it was
Wow.
100 some odd.
There's 80. There's last I heard 80 people dead and
Can you hear that?
and
Wow.
and I forget how many tens of thousands injured, and it leveled how many square miles.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote.
Damn.
Not somebody.
What the hell was on that, Art?
Russell wrote, "Some welders were fixing a hole and the fire started and spread and eventually got to the storeroom or to the nitrate. In the
Holy
storage
mackerel.
nitrate, yeah.
That was
Over 100, yeah, I thought it was
quite
over
the
100.
blast.
Yeah, I think it's, and it left a huge crater.
I think so.
The building that it was in, gone. The building right next to it was a fairly large building. It kind of reminded me of the Murrah building after the explosion, where that
Yeah.
one section was just gone. Yep. All right,
Damn.
well, Mitch, it's about that time, and I want
It
to thank
is,
you
Art.
for having
It
me
is.
on. We talked about
Can,
accidents, we talked about taxes,
Hey, Art,
and we threw a
Art.
little bit of drones.
All right, it says that blast was felt 150 miles away in Cyprus.
Wow.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
right.
Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah. Ken Heron just called Art. Is wondering where the hell you are. So you.
He's waiting for you to be in that chat.
All right. Well, you guys take it easy, and I'll
All
see
right,
you
buddy.
guys. Hopefully.
Fly some of your drones.
Okay.
Take
Hey.
care.
Well,
All
I
right.
will now that I got my phone. All right.
See you
See
Sunday
you
night.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye bye, Art.
All right.
You take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Your timing sucks, Art.
Yeah, really.
I try to time his exit, and he screws me up every time. Yeah, it's getting on that time, guys. We have done 2 hours of this, and
300,000 people have been displaced from their homes.
in that bomb,
Yeah.
wow,
Wow.
That,
unbelievable.
yeah, that's got to be friggin' huge.
And when you look
Yeah.
at if you look real close and slow it down, it didn't just go boom this way.
Went
It
up.
went up like if it was contained somehow, and it went up. So the concussion, it's just like a bullet. A bullet comes out because it's in a casing and goes out. It just doesn't go sideways.
Maybe there was
So when you're
10
going
stories
through-
below.
Who knows? I
know what I'm
don't. You know,
saying?
none of us know yet. But it looks like something was,
It had a shape to
encapsulating
it. It had a shape to it. What you're saying, because it did come
and it
out
went
like those.
straight up.
Yeah, yeah.
It went straight up.
I saw that.
It's very weird.
All right,
Well, guys,
Mitch,
I think
I'm going to say
we
goodnight first.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was
Say
just going
goodnight.
to say goodnight first, Mr. Steve, John Coopy. Stop interrupting so much, Jim. Mitch is going to just kick you out. Anyway, it's always fun, Mitch. I'm going to call you. What's the best time to call you? After 9 a.m.? You're usually not busy and awake?
Yeah, call
Okay.
me anytime during the day.
All
right, buddy.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Everybody
Take
enjoy.
care, Carlos. Bye bye.
I'm watching. Somebody was there, and they filmed it and put it on their Twitter account. I don't know if you care, but they were in a high-rise across from it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple different pictures of it. I'm absolutely I'm absolutely burnt out.
Oh,
Jim,
this is news to me. I hadn't seen it before.
No, I mean I'm burned out on news anymore. I don't know about you, Steve, but or John. I just am at my limit of crap that I have to listen to every day. Most of which is nonsense. I know not to be true, but it keeps coming. You watch the local news, you get it. So I have gotten to a point right now where I have just avoid the news. I'm just trying to live my life and not get involved in all this crap, because whatever happens is going to happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. I got my one vote, and I'm going to use it. What else can we do?
Exactly.
There were
What else can we
secondary
do?
blasts.
But keeping informed and knowing about the news is the smart way to do it, and pass that information on.
Yeah, I got
Factual information.
except that the people that I know and the people that talk to me are like-minded in almost everything anyway, so we all end up just preaching to the choir. I'm not out there trying to change any lunatics' minds. Somehow they're each going to have their own epiphany or rude awakening and say, aha, so everything I've been told over the past 4 years about it, virtually everything, is complete and utter nonsense and lies. I did hear one enlightening poll results today that I thought was had some optimism to it, and the poll was a general poll of how many people thought that the media was to blame for all of the division we have in this country right now. 84% of people that were polled blamed the media for all the division that we have in this country
Thank
right
goodness.
now, and the fake news and the fact that it's not news anymore. It's all political activism.
It's opinion.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's activism. It's just flat
Well,
out.
it's an opinion.
I don't think
It's opinion of either the newscaster or the broadcaster.
Yeah, more likely it's the broadcasters'
Which
mandate
it never was
that
allowed
this
to
is
be.
this
In
is
the
what
days
we
of
this is
Morrow
what
and Chet Huntley, David Brinkley.
and even those guys, when you look back, they all towed the company line and everything that they did.
Sure.
And it's just getting out of hand, and I don't even want to play anymore. It's disgusting, because all it does is raise my blood pressure, because I know that it's a fraud, and to watch this fraud being perpetrated day in and day out on people, and when I look at the results of what happens when they win, look at what happened. They won the House of Representatives last time. But look at the results. Look at what that one lousy victory brought. 3.5 years of complete and total nonsense
Talking about Jimmy Carter?
from our federal government. No, I'm talking about the fact that the Democrats took the House of Representatives in 2018, and look at what has happened in the past few years. Impeachments and the crap that Nadler and
Waste
Schiff
of
and those
money.
guys are coming up with.
Well,
Unbelievable.
It's the voting, because here you don't want to, the mail-in voting that's the big issue right now. But here in California, we had 5 counties, okay, 5 that had more votes than registered voters.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
absurd.
county, and it went from 3% to 11% more votes than registered voters. So how in the hell is that possible? And
They don't care.
All these counties went from red to blue.
Yeah, and they don't care whether it's possible. It's all fraud. Anyway, we're going to stop here. We're going to stop here, guys. We can go on. We can go on all night pointing this out. I think it's pretty common knowledge. Anyway, thanks for coming in.
Good night.
Everybody.
Thank
Steve,
you.
good to see you.
Mitch,
Jim?
thank you. Jim,
Thank you.
John, take care.
Good night,
Everybody
guys.
in chat, take care.
You take care. It was
All
nice
right,
being
buddy.
on.
Take care. John, thanks for coming in. I wanted to talk more. Maybe Saturday or Sunday we'll talk more about talk more about drones and less about taxes and all this other stuff.
No, that was all. That was all good, man. It's all good. No, I'm gonna probably get a little more airtime too with my DJI.
You know what? I just ordered an inexpensive little Cinewhoop frame from Banggood. That's being shipped out of the U.S. warehouse, so I'll have it in a week. 3-inch Cinewhoop frame for DJI. That'll take the DJI Air unit and camera, and I'm going to build a little 3-inch Cinewhoop myself. So instead of spending $300, I'll spend half of that and build myself a Cinewhoop.
Which frame is it?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Hang on a second, and I'll try to tell you. Just give me a second.
Yeah, sure. I was actually looking at something else too. Because they're starting to come out with those drones where all you do is drop the air unit in and you're ready to go. The Transtech Beetle.
That's supposedly it's called a Reptile Cloud.
Reptile Cloud. Ooh, I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
149.
That's not bad. I want to check that out.
It's $32 is the frame. That's what the frame costs.
Oh, the frame. Okay, so the frame itself costs $32, right? Here else we weren't gonna get a whole damn drone for that.
But. No. There's the frame, and so it's got the ducks.
Nice.
You can put some. You can get, if you want to put foam on them, you can. But it's called a Reptile Cloud, and for $32, it's all it's all carbon fiber.
That does not look bad.
I'll tell you where I saw this. I think it was Albert Kim did a review where he said a Cinewhoop for $120 or something. And what they did was they bought a Tyro 79 kit from Eachine that had the motors, the flight, everything, and then threw that frame away and put this frame on it and built a Cinewhoop out of it. And I said, well, that's pretty cool. And it's got the antenna mounts in the back. It's got they give you the antenna mounts for the DJI Air unit antennas. It's got the TPU holder for the air unit supposedly. It comes
that
with all
does
this
look
stuff.
pretty sweet. That really does look pretty
so
sweet.
I'm gonna build one, and I'm probably gonna do a live build video. One day when I get all the parts, I'll do a little live stream, and
that'd be sweet. I gotta make sure I'm there for that because I want to see that. I want to see that go down.
We'll put that together, and because I don't have any Cinewhoops yet, and I thought it would be kind of fun to have one.
So, are you dead set on motors for it? Or do you know what you're going to put on it in terms of motors?
Well, I have some HDLRC, no, GEP-RC, 1507s that I have here on my Tyro 79, and I was thinking I hardly ever fly that thing. I may as well take the motors and the flight controller and all that. But I had replaced the motors on the Tyro 79 with these GEP-RC motors, which are terrific motors. I also used those motors on my Acrobrat, and that thing flies great. So I may just take them. I hate to take apart a quad that's perfectly good and flies.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So I may.
Go ahead.
I may just buy some new motors and flight controller for it, but
The reason I bring that up is because I don't know if you've ever heard of Kebab FPV by chance.
Oh, yeah.
Ever hear that
Yeah.
name? Okay. Well, he has been working on motors basically for Cinewhoops, and he just came out with them. FPV. I guess the company he's working with called FPV Cycle. Oh my god. Oh, I did not need that cat knocking my goggles off. But anyway, he came out with some pretty interesting motors, and there's just so many motors out there that he felt that weren't appropriate for Cinewhoops. So that's why he set out to create it. So you might want to take a look at those because they look.
I will. There's some basic tenets that I've garnered from my own experience and from a lot of videos about motors, and that is, there's two kinds of motors. There are notchy motors. That are very strong magnets, and you can feel that notch every time you turn it. And there are very smooth motors. The notchy motors with the stronger magnets put out a hell of a lot more power, but also more vibration. So there's another a guy named Ciotti. You ever heard of him? He does the micros, and he's been the proponent of that the less notchy a motor is, the better it's going to be for any kind of cinematic application. And with a Cinewhoop, you're not looking for performance power. You're not looking to be, for high speed. You're looking for smooth and controllable. So I think the lower power motors probably are better. But I'll have to check it out. I'm in no big hurry for this thing.
Oh yeah.
But I did order the frame. They had them for $32 and in the USA warehouse. So I figured, why not?
Yeah, why the hell not, right? At that
Why not?
price,
We'll give it a try. All right, John, I'm going to shut this stream down. Say goodnight to the few people we have left, and you take care. And I'll see you. I'll hopefully see you on Sunday night.
See you around, man.
Okay, my friend. Thanks for coming in.
You too.
Take care.
Well, not you too, but you know what I mean.
I got you. See you later. Okay, everybody, that just leaves me and Spanky over there. And we've gone over time tonight, but that's okay. I'd like to thank anybody and everybody that came in on the panel. We had John Coopy and Art Carlson, Steve Carpenter was here, Dan was here, and Carlos. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for helping out, guys. Enjoyed the company. Everybody in the chat, thank you. Thank you. Drone Kings in Darwin, thanks a lot. Rick Halbert, Timeless Truths, Jody, Drone Shot, Robert Glazier, Steve, thank you. Rick Halbert, TDR Drones, thanks for coming in, buddy. Brent Nunley was here. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you. And I think pretty much everybody that came in as of 8 o'clock in the chat was, well, let's go back a little bit further and see if I don't miss any. Russell was here. Thanks for coming in, Russell. Tomas, Robert Glazier. Thanks, guys. Big B 69 was here. Artco. All right. With that, guys, I think that I'm tired and hungry, so I'm going to eat a little bit, smoke a cigar, maybe watch a little Ken Hearn, and for me, I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I suggest you guys do the same. Go play with your drones if you get the chance, and as usual, I'll turn it over to my trusty sidekick, Spank. Wake up, Spank. Spank the monkey, to say goodnight.